You are fired.
But so I guess as per usual, who wants to just do a quick summary of what happened last time in the wonderful little portion of Dunmore you guys spent some time in?
More go.
We absolutely fucked over Trans's character.
It's true. We did.
All right, hold on.
They were
Time
too
to update-
responsible.
Time to
And then
update
the
the
rest were
prior.
unresponsible.
To update the prior session notes. The title is now just "We fucked Alton."
and
No
not
context
in a good way.
We fucked Alton uwu face.
Oh dear Lord.
Not like this.
You know what's gonna happen like 14 sessions from now? It's gonna be Alton fucks us. Uwu face.
14.
I don't know.
It's
Could be this session.
Don't you mean now?
quite a
Just
ways
against the king
away.
execute. Well, I know. Okay, so that was an interesting and very brief description. I don't know if it's a full summary, but you know.
So, in an information gathering attempt, Alton's character, well disguised as looking around town and attempting basically to start a cult. At the most surface level, start a cult, and a more detailed view is to attempt to garner some support with the local dwarves and use the prophecy / story of the return of the crown to the kingdom to try and rouse everyone into thinking this is not right. We need to go back to our former glory. And then the rest of the party convenes in the same bar and start a drinking contest, which gets out of hand.
As always.
You're
Mhm.
not even Animic Boozles or Applebee's.
Or at Hillgrid's. And
Ah,
then
not even a
the
chain.
night where we left off is the stone guards of the king apparate out of the walls and apprehend us, and we are about to be led off to meet the king. Likewise, Trans and Shred's characters, Alton and Absence Thoughts rather, are being led aside as the errant cleric brothers.
And two of our
Alright.
party is smashed out of their minds. One is fairly tipsy.
The other's, I think, strung over someone's shoulder, if I recall. Or
Zidane was fireman carrying Marani out of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. There were other parts that happened. You guys did get finally some gear, some armor fitting session of sorts,
Mm-hmm.
and getting geared up. You guys talked to Mukram and a few of the other dwarves and kind of learned a little bit more, or maybe learned a bit more of what's going on from talking to them. Mystery kind of deepens with what's going on. Thamor is still partially, slowly petrifying. And
Yeah,
I
that
guess
really
this is
didn't
just summed
get
up
addressed
by-
last time at all.
Yeah, I guess it's just summed up by Alton tries to start a cult.
I'm so sorry for reducing what you did, Trans. It actually was really nice. Except we fucked it over with the drinking contest.
We totally did.
The gang fucks over Alton.
Trans's biggest mistake ever. Hand it over to the others.
So I do have to ask, though, how that's going to fit thematically with the fact that now Thamor has two people that he's vowed vengeance against that is defiled with God, and now one of his own party members is forming a cult that's not about him.
Oh no.
Like, it's kind of about, well, I don't know. We can make it about him.
There you go. See, my plan's coming to fruition.
No.
Like 20 sessions ago, I said this. We should start a cult around Thamor, and now he's doing it.
You've done nothing to actively promote this idea other than getting shit-faced and fishing, and yet somehow it's come to fruition.
He's a god. His mere presence motivates his followers.
Fair enough. All right, so yeah. As you said, the stone guard of the king emerged from the walls themselves and led you guys off. Well, those of you still conscious off normally through the city towards the kingdom. You guys are separated, as you mentioned, kind of as the regular adventure party, as well as the two disguised as the last Ward brothers are kept behind. They've got their own little almost entourage of guards surrounding them, leading you guys to the city. As you guys pass through this little refuge of sorts, most of the dwarves were in the bar. A few of them kind of poked their head out. Most of them are just kind of keeping their heads down. Passing through back to that main street you guys were on, you don't see any other dwarves. They're all basically hiding, fearful of what's going on here. This is not the first time they've seen this particular event.
So before I get too crazy, can I at least ask
Mhm.
my question again?
Oh, that question.
Yeah, with the telepathic
The
speech.
telepathic one. Yeah, I'm sorry. The magic missile one's one I didn't have the answer for.
I
Yes.
don't worry about mental missile.
Um,
Yeah, so telepathic speech. It has a distance and a time component. Since
what is
Barnacle, I
the?
forgot why am I blanking on the name? Andros is within 30 feet. Can I communicate with them, and as they're basically taken through the walls, can I maintain the connection as they're taken through the walls, assuming they're within 4 miles?
Well, they're not taken through the walls.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Like
They're being walked down.
you're walking. They're leading you by walking you along. They're not magically pushing you into the earth. The guards themselves just appeared out of the walls. Formed from the very stone, basically that was the walls.
Gotcha.
As far as getting the cast off, does it have a vocal component to it, like vocal somatic?
No, it is a class feature. It is just a bonus action.
Oh, it's that one. Then yes, that's fine. That is fine.
See how poor Andros, you're going to hear my voice again pop in your head. Let, let's see how long we can maintain communication while we're being dragged off.
So they lead you across. I'll just kind of use a one of the wherever my token went.
You just hear an exasperated sigh in his head.
Still remember the line, "You're making me hear my own thoughts." That's all I can think of now.
Believe me, I have words for the two fun ones in your group.
Just to make things a little bit easier to see kind of where they're taking you. Sky size not to sail, obviously they're not gigantic. But they lead you across the main road you guys came on into Grimlock's Fall. This is the area that when you first came in, initially where you had refuge, where everything seemed very abandoned. And without airing, without slowing down, they start leading you through the wreckage of this, or the ruins of of this former city. All around, things are heavily covered in ash, and soot, and dust, and no sign of any life, statues, or anything. It's just barren. But they trudge on along a path that you see that doesn't seem overgrown in the sense of there's not really any plant life, but it seems like they're taking you along a path that's definitely been used. There's less buildup on it. And as they lead you towards the walls you initially saw, these glowing large sorry, my brain is all scattered today, so bear with me. As in a stark contrast to this gray, dark area around you, they lead you up to the walls of the city, the outer walls of the castle. The walls themselves have glowing cracks amongst them, glowing with this elemental energy, this primal energy that seems to course through the walls themselves as they stretch several feet high, like easily potentially about 100 feet or so high of just these gigantic walls that seem to reach up to try and touch the top of the cavern and curve inward, pulsing with this magic. And as they approach the walls, one of the stone guards reaches out their arms, touches the wall, and you see a fissure appear into it, crack and widen, and he leads you through it.
What color? You said that it was glowing?
Yeah, it's like a glowing, like a yellow, amberish color.
Yeah.
And as he splits the fissure glows with that same yellow energy, and the walls, very similar to how you saw like the tunnels kind of move earlier for Alton and Absinthos, how the tunnels kind of moved around you. The walls seem to part and open, forming a pathway through it. And
Can't
as they
be
take you through
good.
this wall, you find this wall is definitely no thin barricade either. This wall is almost 40 feet thick. It is massive. This thing is a shell of a wall pulsing with this energy.
And this is the dividing wall between the Fireforge and Grimlock's
Yes.
Fall.
Yep. Where initially when you came in, you could see it from a distance, kind of glowing slightly, and saw no. It's visible from any point in the city. With the castle kind of overshadowing it. As they escort you through, and as the last person passes behind, the passage behind you reseals, forming a seamless face in that wall again, as if no crack had ever formed to begin with. The inside of Fireforge is a stark contrast to what you just saw. Instead of the barren, ashen emptiness, there are lights. Glowing, magical amber crystals float in the air around you, illuminating this large inner city, first part of the inner city, full of stone buildings, all which have that glowing, pulsating, yellow fissure of magic seeming to course between buildings, up along walls. Even where you're stepping, the path seems to occasionally have these breaks. So the area is almost constantly bathed in this warm yellow light.
Have we seen any more petrified dwarves?
Yep, that's what I was just going to get to.
Ah,
And the area seems to be bustling with life, except on the moment you adjust or look, the life isn't moving. All around, almost frozen in time, are statues of dwarves frozen in different postures, positions. Some look as if they're fleeing, some look as if they're cowering, some just look as if they've stopped and are just standing, staring.
What way are they looking? Are they looking back at the fortress?
They are looking in the general direction of the fortress.
Okay.
The guards, unperturbed, of course, by this, still press on, marching straight through the inner city. Passing by, if you could count, or if you try to count as you go, looking along the side streets and the portions of this building, hundreds of statues gathered in this point. All dwarves, all in those same Myrad poses, looking towards the kingdom. Approaching the main fortress, well, as you approach the main fortress from the main city, the fortress stands a large spire. One might mistake it for a stalagmite, if from maybe viewed from a large distance. But it seems to almost been pulled straight out of the ground itself, reaching up and just scraping the top of the cavernous area above you. The surface, however, on closer inspection, is definitely worked to have bastions, windows, and all sorts of things carved into this massive structure. It too, however, has these fissures of yellow ambered light coursing around it. Really wish
So
I could find out. I was really hoping to find a picture for it, but I can't find anything
question:
that fit what I wanted. Yes.
what color is Moradin usually associated with?
Mortadin? You would not know.
Darn.
However,
Alton, and
yes to say.
they should know.
I guess the second part of that is, are there any religious symbols around?
Roll me an investigation.
Sure. Sedan is good at those. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Investigation. Oh,
You're pretty good at those.
Yeah.
At first, you don't really see anything. There's nothing blatantly displayed. However, as you give a closer look, especially looking at the statue, you see several amongst them grabbing onto pendants or grabbing onto forged items. Very well, you wouldn't necessarily, you wouldn't know this, but yeah, forged pendants of sorts, featuring Morden's, what you would assume to be Morden's symbol.
that doesn't bode well. Okay. Gotta keep that to myself for the moment. Am I still carrying Marani, or have I been able to put her on top of Shinari?
If you want to put her on top of Shannara, you can.
Shinari complains at the smell.
Oh, come on.
You got drunk out of your mind. You probably reek
That
of
means I
booze.
smell.
So I guess I can.
So not only am I a drunk, not only am I a drug addict, but I also smell like a hobo. Am I really the dirty person in this party?
So
You smell like you're covered in ale, which is what you
Oh
are.
no.
So I guess I can solve that question with Ronnie, do you want me to put you on Shinari or
Oh, whatever you want. This is fun.
Marani is still pretty hammered.
I would imagine so.
Like, you just recovered from being blackout drunk, so or from just being blacked out from drunk.
yeah? Do I need to make any checks to keep her on my back?
Not at the immediate moment. If you keep her on there for a long period of time, you'll start needing to roll Constitution to you're carrying a fairly heavy load. Not
Oh,
any
and I'm
offense to
also
Morani.
fat, huh? Wow.
Thin, wiry
Hits
snake
just keep
paladin
coming.
with heavy armor carrying another person.
In newly formed bone armor.
And
Oh, yeah,
drank a
that's right.
lot.
Fine. So I'm drunk, I smell, and I'm fat. Great. Glad to know where I stand.
All right, this episode, Team Dunks on Morani.
Once you sober, that'll all go away.
I didn't fire off the lesser restoration. I regret everything. Anyways, Zidane's gonna keep on carrying Marani.
All right.
Andros will kind of shift over next to Zidane and kind of whisper surreptitiously, "Follow my lead, all right? I've got an idea.
Right.
Keep her out of trouble if you can. If you have to muzzle
What
her,
are you
that's
guys
fine.
talking about?
Nothing there."
EPK.
What's the secret?
Yeah. So pats Zidane on the pats the back of his arm and kind of steps away again, kind of following the dwarves.
Okay. Anyone else? So as they lead you up towards this massive spire of a castle, they approach. Um, as you get closer, you start to feel very warm. And as you get closer to the spire, you notice that there is a moat around it
Oh no.
with lava,
Oh, good.
This is fine.
softly flowing and churning in this cut circle around it. And as the stone guard approaches again, he steps in front, reaches out his arm, and touches the ground. And you see a bridge form, crossing the expanse to the kingdom, to the castle itself. And it seems like a portion of the stalactite in front of you, this large stalagmite in front of you, just seems to drop down, forming an entrance, like as if a circular ovalish portion like recedes into the ground to form an opening.
Neat trick.
Um,
How
and
did he do
ushers-
that?
And they usher you inside.
So
Do
while
I-
we're being
do I have any
escorted,
indication of how he did that?
Sorry.
Excuse
You're
me.
all walking together. Is that my understanding?
Yes, you're walking together, but there is just like a contingent, like you've got guards surrounding you, but there's also just a set of guards separating.
Okay.
You,
For
the
some reason, that we're going separate, but
no, you're together, but just separated by some guards.
Oh, yeah, this
Question
is-
was, how did the guard make the drawbridge?
Like, did he make any sort of spell incantation, or did it just he just
No.
touched the ground?
He didn't make any sort of spell gun. It just looks like he touched the ground.
my question was gonna be: do these guys seem like they're actually? Do they seem as if they have a living being behind it, or more like automatons, constructs?
How would you like to try and deduce that?
Um,
Because I mean, so far they have. I mean, you've not really done anything to interact with them other than they've been kind of leading you forward. So they have a very automaton-esque gait, I will say. They made no motion to really talk to you or do anything on that notion, so you can take that as a will, or if you have something else.
so if I'm thinking that they're not natural beings, could I make a case for using medicine?
If you had the ability to inspect them, I'd say yes.
Okay.
As in, like, checking for pulse or checking for signs of anything, but just purely on visual would be a pretty...
Yeah, perception. A roll perception. Just like watching them, trying to compare it against people
yeah,
I've
you can
known
try.
for- Okay.
Perception or insight, possibly.
It would be insight or investigation, I think, more so
They
than perception.
are equal for me, so
All right. Of all
Well
the things in
then.
that 20,
you see everything.
because I was not expecting anyone to be able to see this.
You want to pull me aside, GM, or
Well, I mean, you might tell people, but
I can't really tell anyone right now. We're kind of being
as your perception tech tells you this info, you're pushed immediately off the bridge, and Zidane is no more.
And neither is
And I-
Marani, for that matter, I guess.
and I don't know to switch.
She weighed him
telepathy.
down.
So
Zidane, as all right, gotta get the nat 20. Nat 20 is due. Everything you've seen so far has made you almost believe that these things are just not natural. Constructs, earth elementals, what you will. Very much almost textbook definition of a homunculus like creature, right?
yeah.
However, as he's reaching down and touching the ground and causing that drawbridge to form, you sense the spark of life. Very much equivalent to how, the Wardens of the Green protect life and all like in that domain. You sense that spark from this thing. And looking closer at it, that same yellow pattern you see, that same yellow like energy, on this creature is there too, but coalesced in its back. And you see a very like small sparkling gem.
Oh. Whereabouts is the position of this gem?
Between like if anatomy wise on this thing would be like between shoulder blades, like right below the nape of the neck. Kind of deal.
Okay. That's interesting. Gonna make a note of that for later.
Gem just below the nape of the neck.
We look at that, Andros. Lava. Very hospitable.
You'll chip her tonight.
Well, I was going to start a cult. Then you guys
I don't-
ruined it, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
It is what it is. Can you let the others know? Not the drunk ones. Well, they wouldn't hear reason anyway, so let the others know if you can. I've got something.
Well, might be tough on the town guard one. On the Hun what? But I'll let Zidane know, for sure. And I like to use telepathic speech on Zidane. I'll let him know that he has a plan. Trust the plan.
And Zidane bobs his head, nodding along as he goes. And then through the link says, I know.
Hmm?
Don't talk too much using this. We don't know how much, if at all, they can hear.
Downfall 8 here. Not unless they can
Famous-
read your mind directly. In which case it
Famous
doesn't
last
matter.
words.
Tempting fate, perhaps, but. Well. Here goes with Thamor.
Oh boy.
Andros has a plan, and I'll immediately stop the communication.
That's all.
That's all he's gonna say to Thamor. Thamor can get mad as he wants. I think you did. Yeah, because I do remember
Believe
paying
so.
for it. I do remember paying
Yes.
for it.
Yeah, I
You did.
think everyone got everything because that's what I asked before we ended. Is made sure everyone like got paid for and got the gear they wanted.
Yeah, I listed everything that everyone bought in our notes, and you got medium, the breastplate, and the shield.
Does Thamor react at all to the voice inside of his head?
I mean, he wants to, but doesn't want to cause a scene.
Oh.
Smart.
Oh.
Where was that? Every other side.
The god doesn't want to cause a scene? Or is the audience not big enough yet?
I mean, my original idea was for, hey, Salty, can I form the shadows in any way? Like, control the shadows somewhat. Form them in a way.
For doing what?
Just thematical, like form the shadows into like shapes and stuff.
Yeah, you can probably form it in a like local, like attached to you kind of design.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make it look like my head turns around, looks at him. The shadow helmet, anyways.
Just the helmet turn.
Just turns
Just
180
the-
like an owl.
Like an owl.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, I like it.
I'm not staring at it. I'm not acknowledging the eyesight. It's in the peripheral.
What is there
Inwardly,
a
he's
bead?
panicking.
Is there a bead of perspiration?
Continue walking forward.
No comment.
All right. Anything else?
I was gonna let the other people, Alton.
Well, so I'm asking is like anyone else have anything before as they are ushering you over.
Are you gonna let Alton know?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Just gonna let
Okay.
Alton know telepathically. Apparently, Andros has a plan. Hopefully, this will be interesting.
What did you say to me exactly? I'm sorry.
And Andros has a plan. Hopefully, it'll be interesting.
Okay.
And Alton gets drunk and starts drinking
Whether-
cocktails with Thing.
Just pulls out the box. All right.
Whether you're looking or not, you can tell the eyebrows shoot way up.
Oh no. Oh yes.
Well, worst case scenario, if we do happen to fail, I'll just be looking at an environment just like this.
Good luck.
I think we need to wish Andros luck.
Well, Andros seems to make his own luck. But as for the rest of us, I don't know what this holds. The king may be, well, not the king. These things that are escorting us, I can't tell what they are. It's almost like they're golems.
Constructs, most probably.
What kind of king keeps golems for guards?
One that does not trust their fellow populace.
That's not exactly. So I'm not very hopeful, but I guess if stuff starts to go sideways, what to do? Tear open the fabric of reality and get us out of here.
I'm not sure I'm capable of doing that just yet. But
did
you
it
are a man of
once.
prayer. I'm
We
sure
did
you
it
can pray.
once. Sure, we could sacrifice some part of your body to do it again.
Never really was fond of my left leg.
There you go. I was thinking more like a toe, but I mean, if it needs that much, I suppose.
You think it would require a small sacrifice?
Well, I don't know. Not the habit of making pacts with evil gods. I feel like
Definitely
we've
have a
had this
brother as well.
conversation before.
They're archmages, not gods. A god wouldn't be so cruel.
Either way, I don't think there's much hope of rescue for us here, so I will attempt to see what's going on, at least. Hopefully they don't know that we're together with the others, and maybe we can get some more information and perhaps be set free on our own recognizance.
If there's a way to telepathically nod.
I think there is, yeah.
You feel the nodding.
Okay.
Affirmatively.
10-4, good buddy.
We're in a cop serial now.
All right. Anyone else as they are leading you in? Evian, Marani, maybe. No. Okay.
No.
All right.
I assume
So
I'm still pretty out of it, right?
you're still pretty out of it, but just want to ask, make sure that anyone had anything else to add to
Yeah.
these scenes going on. Feel free to jump in if need be. Okay, so yeah, they escort you, lead you, force you, however you want to view it, over this the bridge crossing the moat into this central spire of a castle. As they lead you in, again, that door behind you seals up immediately, leaving no trace of there ever have been a hole or cracks in that wall. However, inside is still very well lit, and inside this stalagmite of sorts is a large crescent moon of a building inside. So there's a large central courtyard with this large castle-like structure like carved into the stone inside the spire. There are a few statues within this courtyard, in the central courtyard. And there is one in the very center of the courtyard as well. That seems to be kind of the central focus of where a lot of these statues are looking. But go ahead and roll me perception checks.
Am I at disadvantage or anything?
Yes, you will be at disadvantage.
I figured.
I see.
Thought it was
Alton.
fair to ask.
Alton and
Ooh. Damn it.
Oof.
Wow, everyone's making freaking perception checks.
I mean,
good.
I'm
We can both see
Wow.
nothing.
yeah, that's not great.
I can see everything.
There we go.
There's the
No
Thamor roll.
rolls.
There it
No
is.
rolls. All right, Andros, Thamor.
That's probably it.
Randa,
Yeah,
you
that's
rolled
really it.
persuasion. You're a bit too in character.
Oops.
Oh,
Wrong P. Do you want me to re-roll or you just want me to take that? I mean, it's probably not going to be much better.
I mean, isn't that one? So it's not like if modifier like varied, I would say, but
I think it'd put it up to what, a 5 with your wisdom?
It would actually put me up to an 8.
but it's still in that one.
Right, so
That's what I mean. If it was any other roll other than that one, I'd say we just add the modifier to it. But since it's in that one,
it's okay.
it's just a fail. Unfortunately. So yeah, Morani, you try to kind of look around and get your bearings, but your face is just planted basically at this point into Zidane. You don't see much other than, you basically just see darkness.
All right.
You think you're just blinded at this point.
Will
All you
someone
see
turn the
is
lights on?
Well, more so than just like you think you have a bag, or it feels like you either got like a bag over your head or something's covering your face, which it is because your face is planted firmly in Zidane. You just don't realize you do.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Zidane.
Thamor and Andros. The figure in the center looks vaguely familiar. It's that of a young girl. A young human girl you two vaguely remember
Is it from the storybook?
from
Little Red.
from a while ago.
Little Red.
Wow.
And she seems to be stuck in a pose as if she's holding something. One arm kind of tucked like at her side, looks like she's holding something there. And the other as if she's reaching towards something. Okay. With that, the guards, however, pay no heed to any of this, marching around this courtyard, up the side stairs leading up to this castle. Do you guys want to drag your tokens on there? Because I think you guys can do that, correct? I'm not crazy.
We're on the far side.
Yeah, we're at the southern end. So the guards lead you into this large open room with very ornately carved pulsing pillars. A small pool of lava lights and adorns and warms the center of the room. And at the far end of it sits the Dwarven King upon a large throne that, much like the surrounding building, seems to be a large stalagmite jutting straight out of the ground into the rest of the structure, with spines, or not spines, but like more rocky, jagged stalagmite spikes, cones jutting off at various angles around it. In
Is he flesh or is he stone?
He is flesh, at least from what you can see here. He
Yeah.
looks to be of flesh and blood. In the central, in that chair behind him as well, again, the same amber yellow streaks of energy seem to course and coalesce around it. At the top, very much akin, because of the way I could think of it, if you've seen The Hobbit, kind of how the Arkenstone firmly planted in the center of the chair, there is a glowing crystal embedded in there that seems to just be drawing in all of these energies to it from those ley lines of sorts.
Hmm.
Again, go ahead and roll me like a wisdom, like either just a flat wisdom or a history.
Like a
That
wisdom,
Some
just a
more
straight wisdom check.
check.
Yeah, either that or a history. I say let's just go history. Let's just do history. Or history or yeah, history or just straight wisdom. Actually, whatever's would be a higher roll.
equal.
All
Oh,
right.
what? Oh.
Well, you called equal.
Nice.
Hey,
I know nothing.
Thamor,
Wow.
Ronnie in her drunken
I'm
state.
I'm drunk, but I still know stuff. I'm like Tyrion Lannister. I drink and I know things.
Wait, why did I roll
Thamor.
insight when I should have rolled history? Ah, it doesn't matter. I wasn't gonna change
So
it.
yeah, Thamor, Morani, Zidane, and Alton. He also looks very familiar. Because he looks exactly like the dwarf you met in the book.
Mm.
Huh.
A very ornery kind of looking dwarf. How do I expand his picture?
Shift Z.
Ah,
Ooh.
Uh,
may have broken something, but anyway, not ornery, but like he's a very, very rugged looking dwarf, hair cut in kind of crazy fashions compared to what you would normally think of for dwarves. However, the one standing before you, not dressed in the garbs of a druid or garbs of, well, literally a dog, is dressed in full armor with a large stone hammer, or a large hammer resting at his side upon this throne. You see him make a simple gesture with his hand, waving forward, and the guards escort you up to him. And they pair you in two sides. So the first group, I'll just call you guys what he sees as the outsiders. He pairs on his right side here. And then the last word brothers, he pairs on his left. With guards lining behind you.
does it look like there are more guards, or they sunk back into?
There's none that are inherently visible. You do see on either side of him two much larger looking stone creatures. However, they do not seem to be animated at this point. Um, however, they do not seem natural or very artistic. And based on what you've seen, likely could be animated. As far as that, you don't see anything else in here. However, again, based on how the guards first appeared to you, it's hard to tell for certain.
Oh dear.
You there, Evian?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right, move you with the rest of the group as well. So as you two the two groups are separated before the king, he's sits on his throne. All right. Welcome to Dunmork. Now, to whom? And he looks over at Absinthe, Alton, Andros, and the rest of all you guys,
The outsiders.
the outsiders. Do I owe the pleasure of magically appearing in my city?
Under his breath, he goes, well, here goes nothing. And he drops to one knee and looks up at the king. Your Majesty, it is an honor to finally meet you. I must apologize for the disheveled appearance, but please hear me out. My party and I are not what we seem. My name is Hadrin Roshan, Executor Second Class of the White Order, son of Terrus Roshan, High Executor of Whiteleaf, whose signet ring I bear as proof of his authority. These with me are a special task force which I have assembled from various walks of life to further good across the continents in service of the light, namely in seeking out and dismantling ancient hexes and curses. Our presence here is due in part to a special mission assigned to me specifically by my father, but due to the sensitive and clandestine nature of the upcoming rendezvous between our peoples, my father did not want to jeopardize any final preparations and stress the importance of our surreptitude. However, a slight miscalculation, I think, while using some experimental teleportation runes engraved into our vessel, resulted in the conspicuous arrival in your port multiple days ahead of schedule. Thus, my crew and I don the skies of hapless adventurers in hopes of alleviating suspicion of our true nature, so that we could proceed with our tasks subsequently unhindered. I must offer my commendations to your city guard. Their quick and methodical response to our unexpected arrival was commendable, specifically Captain Silverforce. And I do apologize once for any chaos or pandemonium we may have left in our wake. My crew does have a flair for the dramatic. They are highly skilled in their fields, but well, we all succumb to mortal failings after all.
Zidane is so glad to be mostly reptilian because he is keeping his poker face on very well.
I am sorry. Forgive my loquaciousness, Majesty. I know your time is precious, but please suffer me a few moments more that I may explain our purpose here. The diviners and historians of the White Order have informed us of some sort of terrible affliction that has beset your people for many generations. Little is known of this curse, if we may call it thus. The Dawn Council has expressed their concern in regards to both its effect on both the people here in Dunmork and the threat of possible spread. And from what we have seen on our way here, it seems very comprehensive. My father had ordered me to journey here to investigate with objectives of threefold. To learn the nature of this curse, how does it manifest? What does it match with any known curses or afflictions from historical records? Learn the known history and folklore surrounding the curse. Can a concoction be alchemized or magical artifact be fashioned to counteract this curse? And more importantly, what effect does it have upon the citizens of Dunmorok? Is there aid or shelter, food, and magical or divine healing that can be offered to lessen their suffering? Your Majesty, I assure you, while our presence is unexpected and intentions seemingly unknown, I promise we are here on ultimately altruistic goals. Just as Pelor brought light to the people of Almir, so too do we seek to bring it wherever the shadows lurk, no matter how deep or long. Please, if there is anything we can do to assist you and your people, we are your humble servants. And then he bows his head.
King Icebeard just furrows his brow, and you see him grab at the bridge of his nose. Why I didn't want to work with the White Order to begin with. We had a set date, and you're here in my city, unannounced, when we had the whole proper protocol I put out.
I do apologize. Our presence was not meant to be as conspicuous as it was. It seems our magicians miscalculated the magical runes upon our ship. I apologize.
Since when do your magicians harness the power of the void?
Oh,
Mhm.
The void. We were under the impression that it was divine magic. That was what our contacts from Jererag told us.
oh no! You're trying to pull fast foot on the king. This can only end well. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Everything we have ever done has always worked exactly the way we wanted it to. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
He just squints his eyes at you a bit more. Uh-huh. Divine. Children of Pelor couldn't tell the difference between divine and void.
Well, as I said, my lord, I am not a specialist in, well, the void as you say it. I am merely, my crew and I have spent much time up in Galaran area. We have broken a number of curses up in there. Local cities and villages. But the void, this is new to me. Can you please explain?
It looks as if he's about to try and explain something, and just, bah! Bring me your signet. Let me see it.
He steps forward and pulls it up over his head and hands the chain with the ring to the king.
He takes it, he reaches forward and just kind of grabs it in his hand, flips it over, looks at you. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. All right. I'm assuming I am out of the 10-foot range of Zidane. Yep. If I'm up with the king, yeah, I am. Okie doke.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice. As he's looking upon it and looks at you, you just feel this crushing presence emanating from him. And staggering a little bit, you fall back. And at that, his eyes grow wide as he's looking at you.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. It was a long journey here. We are just a little tired. I apologize.
He starts stroking his beard. I suppose you are. Well, let it not be said that the great King Firebeard is not hospitable. I will show you to your rooms. I will have your task for you tomorrow. It's for you two. Last word, brothers. Any news on from the shore? Any
Mm.
findings on our friends here?
Nothing new, Your Majesty. And Alton motions to Absynthos that the both of them should, as they're talking. Nothing new, Your Majesty. The same markings on the ship. Seems that the occupants of the ship have been brought to you directly, and motions over towards the rest of
I feared as much. Alright. Will you two be staying over at night as well?
with Your Majesty's permission.
Aye, you'll get the same rooms as you got last time.
Thou.
He kind of looks over each of you again, and his eyes stop on you, Thamor, and you see one eyebrow go up. Do I know you, lad?
Oh no.
I was the only one who did it right now.
Oh no, I gotta mute myself. Fuck.
I hope to save you from that book.
The what now?
Wait, does he not remember? I'm an acquaintance of the Blue Man's here.
He, again, his eyes kind of furrows. He kind of stares at you a little bit. So you are. So you are. Alright. Well, if that be all, my guards here will show you to your rooms. Food will be brought to you. There will be no trespassing around my castle.
We would never assume to infringe on your domain, my lord. We shall eagerly await the task you have for us in the morning. I appreciate and humbly thank you for your hospitality.
We'll see about that. You might have never been wishing you'd never accepted it on Moraglad. With that, he just waves his hand. And once again, the guards come back around you, back to life surrounding you guys, and start kind of motioning, leading you towards down some side hallways.
Does he keep my ring or does he hand it back?
Oh, he handed it back to you, sorry.
Okay. Yep, no problem.
What was in the room? What are these things? Do they hold anything?
No, those are the giant, earthen constructs.
Oh, okay. Are there any I guess these would all be doors to other antechambers or some stuff. I'm just curious as to the ways in and out of this room.
Yeah, so there's doors at each of these points that seem to lead out. The main door you came in, and then you would assume, yes, the two doors back here probably lead to more of the personal chambers for the king.
Yeah, his war room or whatever. Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Anything else anyone wants to say before the guards lead you?
Fuck no.
Andros takes the chain, puts it back around his neck, and tucks it in under his tunic, and takes a very deep breath before following the guards.
Okay. Don't have a map for this next part. So yeah, they actually separate you two. Alton and Absinthoss, they lead you down the corridor up here, on the top right, and the rest of you are being led on the opposite side. Both corridors, when opened, lead down a large, like, curved hallway, matching the crescent style. Sorry?
Where was Little Red? She was back.
She's outside. So the design of this, like I said, I didn't really wish I could find an image that fit what I had in my head. I mean, I can draw it real quick here. Let's see.
We can theater them.
But you said it was like a crescent moon shaped like plaza, and she was like a statue right in the center, I think right in the middle of the crescent moon, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
terrible drawing time. So
Yeah.
this part down here being kind of that main entrance where the drawbridge was.
This looks like a South Park character.
Yeah, okay.
It's Clyde.
That central courtyard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that central courtyard. Was this general area here in the center, and the rest of the castle's the crescent that leads into like the larger portions of the stalactite. Yeah, circle.
So
Does that
she's
make
the, she's the
and she was-
centerpiece of the.
Very centerpiece of this.
Yeah, and she was frozen and reaching out with one hand and doing something with the other.
Yeah, the other hand looked like it was pressed against her, like towards her, as if she's holding something like tucked away in that arm.
Now, was she?
Really want to get a good look at that.
Was it a 1-to-1 size, or was she much bigger?
1-to-1.
Yeah,
That's important.
she was petrified.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can turn her into a dog. Put the necklace on.
So yeah, they lead you along these two curving hallways, and put you each in each of your own rooms, separating you from each other, except for you two, the Last Word brothers. They just give you the same room, a larger-ish room with two twin beds against the wall.
Okay. Spartan, I'm assuming.
For the Last Word brothers, there is no guard posted. You notice.
Yes.
He seems to trust your visit. For everyone else, however, there is a
Can I
visible
take
stone.
a good look at one of the stone guards and make a impression for my disguise? This is gonna be rough.
Ooh.
I've never faked being a stone golem before.
It's the first time for everything.
Yeah, I mean there was like
sideways.
nobody else, right? It's just guards and it's a
king was-
statue of Little Red and the king.
The king was the only flesh we saw in
That's
the
crazy.
city of
I
Denmark.
can't impersonate. That's crazy. Right? Do I impersonate the king? Salty, what do you think? Can I do one of the guards?
Let me look. I don't.
Or is it just not gonna be the disguise materials wouldn't exist or whatever?
It's more of it doesn't really fit because they're not. I mean, they're humanoid vaguely in shape, but they're definitely like almost like rough cut stone. So it's not
I'm gonna
exactly.
have to impersonate the king. This is insane. I can't believe I'm gonna do this. Did I get good enough look at the king to impersonate?
Go ahead and roll me a perception.
Yeah,
And I aid him and give like a help action so he has advantage.
How? Are you just gonna give him a pair of glasses or something?
describing. No, he's describing little feet.
And just making sure that we're both on the same page.
Yeah,
Telepathic
and like he
image.
would look at me and
A
be like, "Oh no,
telepathic
it's not
image.
like
He
this."
just thinks real hard. The image towards you.
That's the
This
one I
is
was
what-
really thinking of. Was if Alton's starting to morph it, I can go say like, yes, this is good, or no, this is bad. Kind of
I
like
think
helping him
really hard about
progress.
the guy I just saw.
Those well-toned abs. That well-chiseled chin.
Feet? We're gonna say well chiseled feet.
Suddenly
Well-chiseled-
Thunderhand. It just becomes Thunderhand.
The beard full of
Thunderfoot.
food.
Beardful. yes.
Sure, I will let you give the help action for it in that regard.
Okay, so I get advantage.
I'm gonna
'cause
regret
Yes.
this, but sure, I will give you the help action for it.
I need
My
it.
rolls have been
My
garbage.
perception is terrible.
My rolls have been garbage all night, so
Well, your role, in terms of you helping, it would be giving him advantage for it.
yes.
Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, I needed it.
You get close. It's not maybe not like it may not stand up to someone who knows him very well, like inspecting closely, but you think you've got at least the main details.
Okay.
King himself hasn't been seen outside the castle for the Lord knows how long.
Yeah, but mine is
just-
one perception.
I just got to get into those back rooms, and then I think we're all set. Find stuff, or I'll die. Either way, my session is over.
And then yeah, the rest of you are each put in your own room, a small. I mean, it's definitely no prison room. It is still a very lavish room, very comfy looking bed, furniture made again, almost like it's chiseled right out of the stone, with your own personal complimentary guard outside the door. Each one of these statues, creatures, stand guard outside your room.
Okay, so
Inside or outside?
Outside.
Okay.
But
I can't remember. Can I stay as Crumrig and then transition into someone
you
else?
can only load one disguise on the ring,
Oh,
unless you use your own spells of
God.
like disguise. If you have your own magics for it, but the ring can only hold one.
And it only, I think you can change it on a long rest. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe it was longer.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yep. During a long rest, you can prepare the ring with a new disguise, similar to with any race, gender, or species that matches roughly your similar attributes, like under the same kind of idea of an alter self spell. And as a free action, you can don the nature of it. So yeah, that's the trade off. Is you only get one, but you get to use that one as freely as you have it loaded.
The moment Andros is admitted into his room, the door closes behind him. He lifts the ring back up, stares at it for probably a minute before taking it off his neck and throwing it across the room, and then sitting down and basically sinking into a chair and putting his hands in his head in his hands.
Anyone else before I guess Alton attempts a reconnaissance mission of sorts?
Have I been tuned to my halberd?
You can spend the time here doing so.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend time here to do so.
Okay. So that's what you will do. Otherwise, it's kind of a quick, for anyone not interacting at the night, this can be treated as, a long rest if need be, unless you guys have plans to do something currently. Except for Marani, who is likely going to use the long rest probably to recover, I imagine.
That's what I was assuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Probably
go
Evian.
in and immediately pass out.
Evian, Sedan. I guess, Andros, you can still do things if you want.
So where do they put Shinari?
She goes in with you.
Okay.
So similarly as Frey with me.
Yes. I don't think. Yeah, Frey was still a spider.
No, he turned into an elephant there at the end.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right. A
That's
glowing elephant.
right.
Oh yeah, he did the elephants on parade bit from Dumbo.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So no, he gets filtered in with you.
Okay.
But yeah, Andros will, once he collects himself, which will be a while, he'll probably just spend the evening before he goes to bed, trying to figure out what this ring is. You see if he can attune to it, the sapphire ring.
You put it on your finger, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, I've had it on. He's had it on his finger since Hilgrid's.
Okay. And are you just trying to attune to it, or are you trying to like? What are you doing with it exactly?
I'm just trying to. He wants to understand what it is, and I think attuning to it at least helps you
Well,
learn what the properties are. But it's such if that it's not identified yet. So
yeah. Well, I asked mainly because as you toy with it, it doesn't come off. Was the main part of that.
Ruh-roh.
all right. Well, then he spends a while trying to get it off. Nothing happens.
Get Thamor to pull it off.
Chop chop.
He puts a hand on his bag, about to open it, and thinks better. Yeah, he'll go to sleep for the night.
Zidane, in the comfort of his own room, and then is gonna sit on the floor, and then have Shinari lay down beside him, and he's gonna try summoning the sanctuary a couple of times in front of him against the door, against a bare wall.
I mean, as you try to bring your portal to being, it just doesn't seem to manifest properly. The archway seems to almost crumble and crack as it's forming. The very magic of the space you're trying to form seems like it's just being constantly fought against.
So is it more violent compared to when I first tried when we entered the city?
Yes.
Like,
it is very difficult to get even parts of the door to form.
Gotcha. And did I have it prepared?
Draw me like one of your dwarven girls.
Um, just because I can. He's gonna hold on to his twin crossed keys and divine sense.
Wait, do I know it?
Uh,
Find it real quick because it's been a while since I've used it.
Why do you? Are you?
Ah.
Are you gonna cast that on yourself, Absinthos?
Yeah, tongues, and then to write stuff on illusory script to help you, so you can go around the script thing saying like, "I'm the king," or
But I think. Well, I think the ring helps me sound like I'm too.
I hate to say it, but divine sense doesn't really pick up anything here. There's no traces of evil. Not exactly any good either, and no celestial fiends or undead.
Does the stone feel alive in the sense of if it has
Um,
ill intent or
it doesn't have knowing what you know as well, you kind of focus a bit more like on that. And honestly, it doesn't it feels I mean, almost as neutral as you can get. There's no real good or evil to it.
Okay.
It seems almost like you're looking at it with divine sense, hoping to find this, either the noxious odor or the heavenly music kind of feeling to it. It's just bland. It's almost like a porridge.
so. Well, this might be reaching, but does it feel like the stone is alive, or at least that little?
Yes, that's what I meant. Is the stone does have a
But it's
sense
more of a
of
force of
life.
nature and inscrutable. It
It,
is passive in that sense.
Kind of. More so, it just the life that you feel from it or the essence that it is not aligned in any way.
But it definitely is alive.
In a sense, yes. Like it's not living and breathing. You're not
Well,
inside a
it's
living.
alive enough to have a motivation or a how do I phrase it? It's alive enough in the sense that it has
Let's
the
say it's not.
ability to
Oh, okay.
carry an event.
It's not alive. It has life.
Okay, yeah, that works. That works for me. And he's going to just sleep on the floor with Shinari. Eye on the door.
Okay. Sorry, trying to
So
like give you the info without just like
Yeah, I know I'm
fully.
pushing. I know that I'm really pushing.
um. Okay. Evian, are you doing anything?
Is there a pen or a quill or paper around?
Um. Yeah, I'll say that there's some quill and paper and some basic notary stuff in each of the rooms.
He is going to sit down and drunkenly write to Thunderhand, even though it's impossible. And she's pretty much going to write down, Bernier, I apologize for running away and after such a romantic evening together, but my time was short and I fear that my life will be coming to an end. So please, my dear Thunderhand, forget about me and move on.
Oh my god, she's
Such
drunk
drama.
texting.
Oh
Wow.
God, we are now in the soap opera portion of the campaign.
But
That's the
she
left
just,
turn.
because Thunderhand doesn't know her name, she just basically signs off with your, oh, your, I don't know. How do I want to sign off with it?
Horny lass.
There you go.
A fair-skinned, leggy lass. I don't know.
You got antlers. Horny
Fair
lass.
skin,
Oh my
Feywild.
God.
Oh my god, Treg.
It is an
You
apt description
it's just
in both
facts.
senses of the words.
Mhm.
get
I think I just took psychic damage and I don't know why.
Um,
mysterious stranger.
yeah, or your enchanted lover. I don't know, but we'll sign off with that, and then she pretty much opens the door and just shoves it into the stone guard. Be like, for you, and then closes the door.
The paper just crumples against the back of this thing. It doesn't even register. But
She just pushed it into a wall.
Yeah, pretty much she just she stumbles about and trying to shake the drunkenness off. She's like kind of like streaming her fingers along the walls, finding any hooks or weird um kind of like a weird indents within the rock or stone walls.
um, not really. It's like I say, it's fairly smooth cut. Or not even cut. It feels like the entire place was formed, and shaped magically. Like it is very smooth. Either that, or it was worked by an expert craftsman.
Okay. Yeah, she pretty much, as she's going around the room, she eventually stumbles on her feet and then plops right into the bed. There you go.
Okay. All right. Dare I ask, Alton and Absinthoss?
So
All
my
right, listen,
plan is
Absinthoss.
yes.
So what's
I'm
happening?
I'm gonna go and go. I'm gonna go try and figure out what's in the rooms behind that throne. But the king's probably sitting in there all night long. So we need a distraction. Do you think, how far does your mind go?
From what I can tell, it's only I can start it within 30 feet. Go far, but it only lasts maybe a minute before I
Can you
need it.
talk to our friends like now, or?
They're too far away.
I was
I
gonna
know.
say, there's they're especially good at creating distractions. If we can only get them a message to get the king to like at least look the other way, so I can try to get into one of those back rooms. The other objective that I thought of was, boy, that little red statue. Ooh, that looks just like that girl that was in that book.
Really?
I'm curious what she's holding, what she's clutching. I couldn't really get close. I don't know. What do you think I should do?
Thinking. We can't depend on the others for the moment. They're too far away. Unless you can swing around somehow.
I
Like,
don't think that. I don't know.
I don't know if this place
Castle looks like.
loops around.
A way to get over there without going through the throne room, Salty?
I mean, not that you're currently aware of. You could potentially explore the further end of the hallway you're currently in, but I mean, you've never been here before. The only entrance such you've seen currently is the from the throne room into where you were, or into where you are.
Well, I have a terrible idea.
Okay.
Remember
I like it already.
remember how agitated you were when I cast that sphere of darkness?
Which time?
All of them.
Yes.
The terrible idea is to basically inflict blindness on the king and have it stick to him. He won't be able to see anything.
I think that would be a great idea. However, I'm wondering, magic isn't really very good here. Like Zidane tried to cast his mansion, just didn't work.
Disguise is magical.
Plus, the king, if that happens, it's kind of, that's more or less it. That we get
the
one
jig
shot.
is up.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's a terrible. But
Well, there's better things to do than maybe cast it on the king. Maybe we impersonate someone and lead some of the guards on a little chase, and then drop disguises. Like, I've done that before. And then they keep looking for someone who doesn't exist, and so that will raise an alarm, and it will probably get guards moving. I just don't know what would make the king leave the throne room so that I can like go in there and impersonate him for a second, and then try some doors and rummage around. What would make the king leave the throne room?
is he sleeping right now?
What I really would have loved is if I had gotten to stay in that bar and make a real revolt, because then he would have fucking left the throne room. God damn those assholes.
Yes, and the other risky option is to call upon that same void that he so hates and pray it works.
Well, how would you do it?
It's like a force of will. I just will it. The void and its lack of
Right,
motive.
I don't need to know how you talk to your mommy. I'm just saying, like, what's going to happen when you do?
Your guess, in some sense, is like wild magic. Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh my god, that's basically just running out into the room and me eating the beans. It's just
Yes, but I can at least guide.
okay.
The
So it's a little
individual-
better than beans. All right.
Oh, much better than beans. At least I can guide it. What needs to be. And
This is
mommy magic, as you call it, is much more defined.
okay. All right. It's still super thin though. I don't know. I was my plan was to get somebody to create a big enough distraction where the king would kind of not be there. I'm not hearing a lot of good options for how to do that though. And I really can't. I don't have much here. I have his disguise and my kind of parlor tricks, but
We don't have the
nothing
disguise yet. It does require a long rest to change it.
yeah, I was gonna do the 6 hour
Okay.
an hour thing and do it at whatever time it is now. I'm assuming it's sort of quote daytime here or
Closer to evening because you guys were in the bar at more or less. What would be nighttime for them or end of the day.
oh
when they
okay.
led you
So then
away.
sorry, go ahead. Okay, so then if I create the disguise, it'll be like wee hours. It's like 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
When I get it done. Okay.
Ooh,
So
another idea is:
Yep.
do you actually speak Dwarven natively?
I do.
Then perhaps I could forge documents to help move the king.
So what do we do with the documents?
Well, perhaps we can say there is a revolt planned for the, a revolt planned and ready to attract the king's direct attention, forcing him out of the room.
Yeah. How would we embellish it to make the king want to leave the palace?
Assassination
Maybe.
attempt, of course.
Oh.
In the
Oh,
room
God.
Oh,
where he
now
thinks
we're
he's
getting
safe.
somewhere. Yeah. This is good. Yeah. So there's a credible threat that okay. Maybe the assassins are coming, and
Of course.
oh my god! Wait a minute. No, I gotta think this through in my head before I say it out loud. It's so crazy. Okay. What if we say we found these documents and they're planning and there's an assassination plan and we say we've thought about it and we want to help by being a decoy. We can make ourselves into decoys. Is that crazy? Is that too crazy?
Oh my god.
The only thing I worry in that scenario is the king might still be in his place and will just be out there being decoys.
Right. But I mean, he can't be in the throne room at the same time. That's, we're going to tell him, "Hey, you can't be here. You got to be somewhere else." I don't know. I'm out on a limb here, man.
And all of this is just to go see the statue?
No, it's to get into his ante.
Oh, into his rooms.
I'm thinking the crown fragment's somewhere in.
If you could convince the man to leave the room with that, then I
Yeah.
think it's a great plan.
Oh Lord.
Okay, well, do I have... All right, so I think I have the skills to do that. We definitely need a good forgery.
Oh,
It's got to be really good.
Oh, I could be quite the deceiver. You just need to speak. You just need to speak Dwarven to me.
Yep, I can do that. I can dictate.
Sultry, deep dwarven
Oh
to me.
my god. These
Yes, so I would like to cast tongues on myself. And then I will cast Illusory Script.
Illusory script, but like, I know what you're doing. Yep.
Yep.
So we're gonna say, hey, we found these. Where are we gonna say we found them? Maybe we embellish the relationship that we started forging in the tavern and say that really it was their idea. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, you guys are throwing your cult underneath the
Oh, yeah.
bus.
That's what
Why?
cults are. That's what cults are for.
That's exactly what cults are for. It's to screw them over. It's just basic science.
What you do with the cult. Yes, and how many? Okay. All right. So we found these Okay. They started making noises like they didn't like the king. We went along with it and we snooped. We found some documents.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And you are very good at deciphering illusory script. And I will say, you came to me and said, look at what this says, and we were summoned before we were able.
We had to verify its credibility. That's why.
Yeah. And then we were summoned before we were able to make contact. But it doesn't matter. We're here now. And Your Majesty, we have an idea. I think this is foolproof. I don't see any way this could go wrong.
Oh my.
Deception shall be.
Everyone should just have new character sheets on standby.
What's your role when he leaves? What are you gonna do?
It's a shame we can't.
Be honest, I hadn't thought that far.
Maybe you could go. Maybe you could go look at Red, and I'll go through
recording this. Can't record the Discord channel as well.
Maybe you could go look at Red, and I can look in the back. Or you can
keep watch,
or you can keep watch. Yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps we can figure out what's going on with our friends.
What the fuck is happening in Discord? I haven't looked at this.
So it's 3 arrays.
I know the fucking stones are listening to us. I know this. I know. There's nothing I can do though. We have to talk to each other.
Telepathic speech.
So if it happens, it happens.
Although you just start speaking random Dwarven to me, and I can already do the. So while we're at that.
What the fuck is?
Speak that sultry Dwarven to me, Alton.
Yeah, speak that Dwarven to. We just stare.
My God.
We're like men who stare at goats, but we stare at walls.
All right. So let me know when your documents are ready, and then we'll take. I'll take a long rest. And then we'll go see if we can get an audience and get them out of there for the day. And the illusory script needs to say something like, today, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna write in tomorrow. The king will be.
Oh, this deception rolls are gonna be really clutch. I can just feel it. There's no way I'm gonna fail these deception.
Oh Lord.
Not at all.
We are all going to die horribly.
It's okay. I can roll at advantage.
You guys are fine. You're not associated with us at all.
It's 3 arrays of 4d6 drop
rolls. Wait. Okay, so hang on. When we leave here, I'm gonna be Alton. Because Brother Crumrig is gone. He's gone. So wow. Okay, so you're gonna have tongues tomorrow morning too, right?
Yes, it's
okay. So I think you got to go out and you got to pitch this, at least part of it, before you bring me in.
Didn't you cast tongues back in the town?
Wait a minute. How's that gonna work? Because then he's gonna know I'm not really the dwarf. Oh my god, this is so fucked up. I don't know how I'm gonna do
This
this.
assassination attempt that we're planning is fucked up. Who knew?
I'm not trying to assassinate him. I'm trying to get into his coffers. It's not really an assassination plot. Okay, Salty. So I have this disguise prepared after this long rest, right?
Mhm.
But can I choose to not use it and use the old brother Crumrig?
No, the whole functionality of that disguise is you prep the
Okay.
disguise, and that's basically what's loaded.
Okay.
So if you spend the
So-
night prepping this disguise, it will replace the Crumrig.
Crumrig is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this then, Absinthoss. I don't know how we're gonna do this.
How we're
'Cause
gonna spin it?
I have to appear as Crumrig for the pitch, but then I have to be okay. So here's okay. Next idea. You give them I go out with you as Crumrig. We're both the brothers, and we give them this illusory script, and we say that the assassination attempt is not tomorrow, but the next day. Because then I can prepare another disguise after he knows that I'm going to prepare the disguise, and then I walk out as the king, and he's not suspicious.
Well,
So
this
we
is less
get another
suspicious.
day. We need another day to do this, I think.
As long as they don't try to scry it too hard.
To what?
As long as they don't scry the message too hard, we should be fine.
I thought you said this was airtight.
Oh, if in case it does get scribed, we can just say it's still them. It's their
Okay.
script.
Okay. Right.
Yep, it's airtight.
Okay, so we don't actually. Yeah. We still need a long rest, don't we?
At least.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
arguably, I could probably get away with just a short rest because I'm just casting using the Warlock slots.
Well, as long as I'm staying as Crumrig, then we can just go.
We can literally.
But like you're the one that's writing this illusory script. So what day are you gonna say the assassination attempt was gonna happen?
It would be wise to minimize the time they have with the script. So if we tell them tonight,
All right, let's go
we should
back
say it
now.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should have
and then
enough time
tomorrow.
with both
Okay.
tongues in the script to still have
Okay.
tongues active at the moment.
Okay. All right. Let's go do this before the guards report what we've been talking about because they fucking know.
Telepathic speech. They don't hear a darn thing.
I mean, if you want to say
you didn't really specify telepathic speech for
halfway.
all
Yeah,
of this.
halfway. Yeah.
I definitely knew the guards were listening the whole time. I just don't have tele.
I should have. Can I flip a destiny point? I'll make an operative assumption in the future to say I will just be speaking telepathic speech unless stated otherwise.
This can only end well.
Well, there's one person in my party who hates telepathic speech, and half of
Two
them
people.
don't like it.
2 people.
Well,
All right, let's get this show on the road then.
Yeah.
So, what are you two doing then?
All right.
How may I best escort you to the dungeons?
I think the plan was that Absinthoss has completed a missive
Mhm.
written in dwarvish illusory script,
Yes.
giving a incriminating account of folk that we met in that tavern plotting to send assassins to attempt to kill the king.
Yes.
And we are going to exit the room and go back to the throne room and attempt to secure another audience to inform him of this.
Okay.
Wheels on the bus go thump, thump, thump. Thump, 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 thump. The wheels on the
We
bus go.
just got the band back together.
The
The train go choo
the,
choo
guard,
choo.
the guards' maces go whack, 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 whack. Off your
Party
head.
members'
Whack,
heads
whack.
go thump, thump, thump,
Yeah,
thump,
yeah.
thump, thump.
If I remember correctly, they had giant stone axes, not maces. So there's
Oh,
not going to be
no.
any
he has a
thwacking.
hammer.
There's just going to be swink.
He's got a hammer. He makes nice little pastries of your party.
All right.
We're not associated with them. I'm pulling an Alton.
He doesn't know anything. Yeah, it's just us.
All
But
right, so
that's the plan.
you forge your letter and step back into the main chamber. The king is still sitting there, and he just has his eyes fixated on both of you as you walk into the chamber. He seems expectant.
Expectant.
Like, he was waiting for you to come at this point.
Oh. Oh no. Well,
This
sire.
is good.
So again, I'll go to a need. Sire, we have a need of an audience.
Also goes to the knee.
Granted.
It seems that my brother and I here may have uncovered a plot.
Is that right?
I'll motion to.
And I'll pass the missive on to you
Oh, okay.
to give to the king.
Okay.
So you might see through my disguised self if I touch him. I don't want to touch him.
Yeah.
Aw.
May coach.
He stretches his hand out.
So, we found this while tending to a local group of parishioners in the tavern. And sadly, it appears to be illusory script. I can read it for you if you like.
He, pulls his hand back then and just kind of waves you, like, go on.
To read it?
Yeah. Like, just motions
Okay.
for you to go on at that statement.
Okay.
He's got his hand, like, arm
I'm
on the-
assuming
arm on
this
the
is
chair.
going to be a combination of Absinthos's skill and then my deception to convince it. Thus, plot. Yes?
Yes.
Or
and
how
I'll
do you want to
underst-
do this, Salty? How do you... I can't believe I just said that like you're going to kill us. How do you want to do...
I hate doing this because I know you guys are putting thought into this, but the reality of the situation, because of what's... guys don't quite know what's going on. You read out this assassination, thing. He doesn't care.
Oh, okay.
He literally just sits there with an uninterested look on his face. His hand is resting on his arm as he's just watching you read off this plot. And the list of names and all that. And he just doesn't seem to care.
We can roleplay that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sire, does this not trouble you?
Bah. They couldn't do anything to me if they tried.
Believe you are. Yeah, I believe your strength is unrivaled, but surely you would want to take some sort of precaution, or perhaps to lure them into a trap to discover the entire extent?
Do you not trust your king, brother? And
I
as
trust
he
you.
glares, you just feel
Listen.
again, or not again, but
Okay.
you feel this crushing presence almost emanating from him.
I
Roll
trust you
me. I was gonna say,
implicitly,
roll me a
sire.
Constitution saving throw.
Sure. Uh-oh.
God. Mm. Oof.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, you feel this crushing pressure like emanating from him. Doesn't
I
seem to
trust.
affect you initially, but you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I trust you implicitly, sire. I'm merely suggesting courses of action that I thought would be helpful. And he backs away, sort of genuflecting the whole time.
I appreciate it. You two have been faithful servants of mine, but have no fear. I will not be ended by the likes of any of them. Now,
Well,
are there
what
any
would
other
you have of
concerns?
us?
Continue the duties I have given you, and that is all.
Okay.
Now,
As you wish.
is there any more news you wish to discuss with?
And look over to Alton as he's disguised.
Yeah. No, sire.
Good.
Honestly, we had thought this was big news, but of course, taking it in stride.
And you see him he rubs the bridge of his nose again. What would put you at ease? That this plot you've uncovered is of no threat to me. Some show of strength, some strong arm tactic from me. What would you see your king do?
Wow, okay, this is a big decision. Out of character right now, I really want to tell him the whole Japanese way of saying, you are the king and not me. There's no way I could possibly tell you what to do. But that doesn't get us anywhere, so I'm not going to do that.
So a part of me, out of character, wants to think: is there a way he can do a show of force out into the city
yeah.
to basically show that he is a
Yeah.
divine king that is
Are you still,
like a mortal king?
is tongue still up?
Should be.
Go for it.
As the king, you are a king to your people. And as such, you need to show the people that you are the king. Not necessarily in this fortress. Of course they know you're in this fortress, but out in the city. And you are as strong as you say you are. An assassination plot might still occur, but you'll certainly defeat them, especially in a place where they did not expect it.
That would just show I am afraid if I have to show force and act out against it. They should know not even dare stand against me.
In physicality, yes, but in their hearts and minds, they still stand against you. That is what must be crushed. By being present, you don't even need to fight or anything. Just being present out there. That will make the spirit die.
He just looks out, almost looking past you both, looking past the walls, just staring out. It matters not. I have no care for them.
And what is a king to care for?
Care for your subjects?
I already have. Now, you two be best be off to your rooms, before you delve into answers that you do not wish to seek.
Yep.
Yes, my king.
We were just leaving.
I-
Oh God. Well, we tried. Oh, we're
Not
not
trying
dead.
to-
I can't believe we're not dead. Yay!
High five.
You handled it well, and I don't want to like discourage the idea you had, but there's you'll learn hopefully. There's
Plot.
Yeah,
something.
no,
There's plot in the
no,
background.
that was cool. That was cool. That was still a cool moment.
Okay, I have. Oh man, this is such a terrible idea. No, this is dumb on several levels. So, void magic to basically pray. I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna cast a void magic spell.
Oh no.
Pray I get the right spell, and then pass a saving throw for something like augury or
Are you doing this in the room
contact
or in
other
front of the
plane.
king?
Oh no, this would be back in the room.
All right.
I'm not doing
The king?
doing void magic.
Void magic.
What if we just like
There's
go
a-
exploring first?
That'd be probably better than having a 4-part plan that any part failed. We're screwed.
Yeah. Let's walk and talk. We'll plan while we're walking.
Okay, I'm sorry. Are
I
you
guess there's a
exploring
fifth-
or are you casting your spell in the room?
Oh no, I'm exploring at this point.
Explore. Yeah,
The
let's
cast spell thing
see
is like a long shot
what
idea.
happens. Yeah, what happens the other way? We walk down the other way.
Towards the end of the far hall.
I think that's what you said. There was kind of only two ways to go. There's the throne room, and then
Yeah,
there's the
because
other
as you're
way.
walking down the rest of that hallway, it kind of again it curves forward or curves like inward, forming that semicircle, that crescent moon, with more doors leading to very similar guest style rooms. Reaching the end of it is a door leading outside. However, it is manned by a guard.
Uh-huh. And there's no indications on any of the other doors. What's inside? They all kind of look the same.
You can kind of most of the doors are open; they're not closed. But
Oh.
peering in, it just seems to be standard like guest rooms, like just a bed
Oh.
and simple furnishings.
And there's no stairs. There's no
Nope,
other rooms
not
filled
in these
with
corridors.
treasure or books or.
Not in these corridors.
Ugh. Well, we gotta go back into the throne room somehow. If at very least to get to other parts of the fortress. So it sounds like we're gonna like take a nap. Just wait for the guy to go to bed if he ever does. I don't know. I mean, if we go in there again and he's like, "The fuck are you doing in here?" It's like we're just cut down.
Yeah, that would not be a good idea.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I could try and stealth. We could try and stealth in there, but like that seems suicidal.
Let me look up
is it?
divination magic.
No, that's dumb. I mean, all I can really do at this point is go back and try to do some sort of a prayer or benediction or sermon or something like that I just learned. But that doesn't get us anywhere. It's just standing there saying stuff. So, I'm out of ideas, I think.
Could pray to Moradin.
I could pray to Moradin right in his face. And it would look
Oh.
convincing like I knew what I was doing.
I was gonna
I don't want to, but I kind of do want to commune with the patron.
Well, do you need me to leave the room or like?
That might be a good idea.
It's okay. All right. I'll go take a walk for what do you need? Like a couple minutes?
I hope only that long.
Okay. All right.
So
Do
all
you
you're
want to hang a
wondering-
sock on the door or something?
Sure, let's hang a sock on it.
Okay. All right.
All right. So what are you doing, Absinthus?
I want to commune with my patron with the intent to figure out how the. Apparently, this guy's butt is glued to his chair. How do I get his butt glued off of it?
That's what you're one.
Well, there's two parts. There's like me internally thinking how to get his butt off the chair, and then there's the more probably direct ask of what hell kind of curse of the void occurred during here,
So wait, are
and
you
how
just
do we change it to benefit our ends?
you're just trying to talk to your patron directly, like
Yes,
not spell or void magic type deal.
correct. Just through the hexblade.
It is silent.
Ruh-roh.
Thank God she can't talk to me.
Anti-magic field.
I guess
The
we'll try
sock
again
imme-
and still fails.
The sock immediately comes off the door, and Alton walks back in. That was quick. That's kind of what I thought.
Didn't work. What if
Work?
I go to I don't
It's
know
okay.
how to...
This happens to everybody. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Did you reach your 3-use maximum per day or something? Or
She's not
It's
answering the
anti-magic field.
Do I get a
Oh,
sense on where the
Anti-planar
point...
field almost.
Yeah, do I get a sense of where like the point of connection is failing?
It
From my knowledge of arcane magic.
okay, so similar-ish to when you try to reach into a Restamore's mind.
In that, I thought it was more of
Like
Oh.
basically the number you're trying to reach cannot be found at this time. Like you just feel like you are disconnected. So it's not necessarily an issue of there not being magic. You feel your magic, but you feel like you
someone's
cannot.
cutting it off.
Yeah.
There's some kind of shield. I think anti-magic shield would be the right word to describe it. Connecting to another plane is blocked. The power is there, but the connection is not.
Yep.
Plus,
Is there
I
any
don't
way?
have to listen
Is
to
there
her.
any way for you to go invisible? Do you have an invisibility spell yet?
So it's on my spell list. Did I pick it up? No. I picked up darkness instead, like an idiot.
Yes.
You missile at the darkness.
Well, I thought, Devil Sight Darkness was gonna be a cool combination until it pissed off everyone.
Until it wasn't.
Until
At
we had
all.
darkness, sleet storm, and fog all going at the same time, filled with snakes.
Oh, I mean, if we were gonna fight the king outright, I mean that you picked up the right thing. But like sneaking.
Yeah, no, I'm in the transition of
It's not
switching a bunch of known spells, so it's a bit of a. I guess I could always void magic it.
I don't know, man. I honestly, at this point, I'm okay with just going to sleep for 4 or 5 hours and seeing if he's still in there, and then maybe trying to stealth in, pick a lock, something.
well, what exactly did the king say was going to happen to us outsiders in the morning? We're just like, okay,
He
everyone
said-
go get some sleep.
He said, "Report back. I'll have your task for you in the morning." Basically said, "Yeah, go hit the showers, kids. We'll practice again in the morning."
Okay. Something to that effect.
So unless you have something else you want to try here, Absinthos, I think I'm gonna set the alarm for Dark 30 and sneak around.
I'm not willing to risk firing off void magic in this place. So
That sounds like a good idea.
yeah, I think I am done for now.
Salty.
Somebody's got a bird or something.
It's my dog's toy. Sorry.
Oh, sounds like a bird. It's funny.
I had refilled my barnacle flask back at the outskirts river.
Mhm.
Do I sense that his consciousness, his the part of my soul that is him is back in the flask?
So as far as it being like, okay, so I'll just go with this way. If you want to spend the long rest focusing on it, you can reform him in the jar.
Got it.
Because he himself is not like he's still on the same plane as you, but he's more of an extension of yourself than he is a planar entity.
Sure.
He just happens to possess the powers, like shape of a planar entity.
Yep.
However,
Yeah,
since he's been disconnected from you in this weird way.
and obviously he's who knows how many miles away, still trying to work his way through water or through rock.
He's
Okay.
getting a drink somewhere. He's actually just kind of like snuck into a bar, and he's just living in the booze.
He's being drunk. It's weird, sort of.
He is booze now, no longer a water elemental.
Oh
Alright.
no, not this discussion again.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so yeah.
All right. But yeah, if
Me
you
and
want to
Joseph
spend the
got
long
nothing.
rest, you can reform him in the flask you have.
Yep. Yeah, I'll plan on doing that over the long rest. But otherwise, I got nothing.
All right.
They more.
He's tuning to his halberd.
Yep.
Morani is passed out. Zedan is trying to feel the walls. And Evian is passing soap opera notes to the guards. I love it. I need to have like a separate like short. You know, that'll be a Halloween short. Is just a Tale of Thunderhands.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then okay, so the night passes. Alton and Absinthoss, you guys are planning to get up real early, or are you just waiting to see what's your plan? And are you loading your ring with a new disguise?
And no.
Okay, so you're keeping it as Crumrig.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the king disguise thing went out the window when he was like, I'm sitting my ass in this chair and nobody's gonna make me stop.
Okay. All right, so are you getting up early to try and leave, or are you just waiting to see if someone comes get you?
No, I'm getting up early to snoop around.
Okay. So you and Absinthoss, or Absinthoss, you joining him? Or is Absinthoss sleeping in?
How's your stealth? Absinthoss might be getting some.
Did we lose Applesauce? He is deafened and muted.
Been eaten.
Well, let's say that I get up and he's not up.
All right, we'll say you get up earlier than he does. Oh wait, we got him back. Maybe. There you are. Are you getting up early with Alton?
Yes. Sorry, I had to get some extra water.
To snoop around. I knew it. You gonna snoop with me? How's your stealth?
Terrible. I'm dependent on actor to do everything, so I got a +0 on the mod.
You stay here.
Sounds good to me.
Scream like a little girl if they figure out I'm going. Okay. Make with the sneaky sneaks towards the throne room.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
Sir.
If you're actually actively trying to be like stealthy about it versus.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know how you do this. I mean, I guess I can try and figure out how I would do this, but like trying to hide from the walls, like. I mean, if the guards are part of the walls, I'm not really sure how you stealth with that.
I mean, there really isn't a great answer to that without revealing more. So it kind of just sounded how your character or how you're planning to think you're attempting this.
Well, let me put it this way: out of all the times that we've seen them stone shape or meld stone or whatever, have we ever? Maybe I could make a roll on this. Have we ever seen like an indication in the wall or the stone that they come out of, like that they're in there, or maybe it moves a little before they come out or whatever, just anything that might indicate that there's a guard inside one of the walls that I could look for. So that I could stealth around it.
There's not been enough. I mean, because you didn't see it happening exactly, or have a lot of time to see it happen in when you were in Icebeard's Refuge. But
we did get forewarning, though.
You did get forewarning. One of the dwarves picked up on it.
Yeah.
And he mentioned being able, like, the stones kind of like talking to him in a sense. But I would have a hard time finding a reason for Alton, or really any of, most of you having any real way to notice that, unless you just, roll obscenely high. So you could try and give me a perception or investigation. But it would be a fairly difficult DC.
Up to you.
'Cause-
I mean, he'll sit there and think about it.
Sure. If you want to give it if you want to give investigation to look at the walls and see if you think you notice anything,
I'll try that.
you don't.
Okay, so it's just standard. Then he's assuming that he's trying to hide from guards that are not in walls, and he's gonna stick to the shadows and. So stealth, right?
Yep.
Did I miss you?
No,
Say
I said,
yes.
yeah. Go ahead and roll stealth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If that's where you're going about it. Hold on.
There you
So
go.
you're quiet and keep to the shadows and kind of edge your way down the hall, peeking out from the corridor, and yeah, you're not too far from the point. As though he has not moved at all. He is still sitting at his throne.
Damn it. So Little Red's back down south, right?
Yeah, she is outside this chamber.
Is there a decent straight shot kind of that I could sneak along the hallway down there? Because there's no way I'm getting behind him.
I mean, if
The
you
DC
want a more,
DC's probably like 30 or some shit.
if you want a more, like, just to kind of guide you along the path I think you're getting at, you do realize you and Absinthoth, as the Last Word Brothers, are kind of free to leave.
Okay. This is good.
Like, he doesn't want you necessarily snooping around the castle, but you guys, like, his expectation basically is he was just going to be sending you guys off in the morning. Like, you guys, the Last Words.
I thought he was keeping us here because he wanted to talk. Okay, all right.
If you want to
So
talk,
then-
sure. His plan is to deal with, quote unquote, the outsiders.
Well, so
Oh,
the reason that I had that impression is because we were taken by force.
Mostly because you got kind of looped in with, as far as he sees it, you're looped in with the outsiders. So he just brought everyone in at once.
Anyway, so he made Crumrig made a stealthy, exit from the hallway, but then he's, I guess, now just gonna start walking towards where Little Red is, quietly, but not trying to stealth.
Yeah, the king just is watching you leave, and he goes, as you're departing, he goes, "Is your brother not departing with you?"
I am
Should I be departing?
going for a pre-dawn walk. I will return.
All right, brother. I will have an audience with the others.
Do you? Go ahead.
Oh, and he's like, if you are still here for it, well, we will see what these outsiders have to offer.
Oh, I'll bite on that. Sire, did I just reload the entire page? Yep. He approaches while I get the page to reload, and says, "Sire, why do you think the outsiders have come?" if I may be so bold.
I heard them last night. They're with the White Order.
Why
I
would
don't
the
have
White
much.
Order come?
To help, how do I put this for you? Alleviate the condition, the stone and all that.
Truly? They 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 hold some key, some knowledge?
I
This
doubt
is
it.
wonderful. Then why do we treat with them?
Time is growing short. He says this almost absentmindedly before he shakes his head and kind of gives you that gruff look again. I thought you were going on your walk.
Forgive me, sir. I am over curious. I will leave. And he goes to find Little Red's statue. The king doesn't stop him.
Nope. King will
Okay.
not.
I think I get it.
He will, however, send guards to wake the other members to bring them into the court.
I know exactly what's going to happen here, guys, and I need to come back and tell you about it, but I just sold that I'm walking around. Fuck. Okay.
I mean, you could hang outside the door or hang out near the entrance. He won't necessarily stop you, but...
Go ahead.
Alright. As for the rest of you, yeah, you are all awakened as the guards open the doors, and you just hear this same monotonous, "Come."
Right. Andros is his back in his. He's collected himself. The ring is hanging exposed on his chest. He steps out and waits for the rest of the party.
Maybe in Thamor, Zidane, you all following your Morani as well?
Thamor
You
is
all following your...
following.
Alright. Do we lose Morani's token? Oh, no, never mind. She's already just out ahead of you guys. Okay.
Ronnie slipped in the throne room.
Absinthoss, he's not going to necessarily drag you out unless you want to come out and when you hear anything, but he doesn't send guards your way. So...
How's this door open exactly? Can I hear things through the door? Can I pop open the door?
It's it's just a simple wooden door. So if you leave it open, you can hear, pretty much everything that's happening down the corridor. Don't goes.
Can I hear it while the door is still closed?
Harshly, it's very muffled.
Okay. For the moment, I will just hide behind the door and see if I can get a general tone of things going on.
Okay.
Zidane's gonna do his best to whisper under his breath as everyone's within hearing distance. Stay within just arm's length of me.
One
Just
more
in
question.
case.
Is there a window on the door or is this a straight wooden door?
Straight wooden.
Okay.
Okay. And as you guys are being escorted out, you see Crumrig, Alton walking out the front door. Plays kind of in parts here. So the king has the guards usher you again in front of him. I hope you find your accommodations were suitable.
Your Majesty, we and my party are feeling much more refreshed. Thank you for your hospitality once more.
Now,
Do you know why I hired the White Order in the first place? Well, convened with them.
My father
Or is
did
that
not.
outside of your briefing as well?
My father did not deign to explain that to me. But I assume with our knowledge of the divine magics and our historians, I'm sure whatever it is you're handing off, it may be we may help you research it at least.
I will see if this changes your mind. I had no intention of handing anything off to you.
Your
Make
Majesty.
that point real clear.
Oh, oh, if I am sorry, forgive me, but may I ask why the deception, sir? Your Majesty, we are only, I would assume we are only trying to help.
He gives you a very stern look.
He goes, we shall see about that.
And with that, he stands from his throne and grabs his hammer and starts walking towards the other end of the hall.
Come with me.
And as he does, he turns and you see him snap his finger, and the two golems on the side of this throne come to life, and you see them move in front of the throne, guarding it.
Yeah. Andros looks at the rest and nods to follow. Does answer the question that his lower half is not stone. I was slightly worried that he was stuck there.
Alton, as this conversation is going on, you head outside to that curved crescent moon area. Again, you see several dwarves, and as you go ahead and roll me inspection, let's just go or roll me perception as you're kind of getting that first look amongst them.
Sorry.
All good.
You said perception or
Yeah.
investigation?
Go ahead and do perception. Oh, and all this is going on as he's leaving the throne room as well as you're getting your die roll. Absynthos, a guard now comes for you.
Kind of look at him.
It just sits there and says, "Come,
Aren't you a little
King
short for a
demands
stormtrooper?
audience."
I'll just follow the guard. There's no sense of resisting.
Okay. The guard is leading you behind the party as well as the king heading out the door.
How does he know does he basically he found out even though I was hiding on the other side of the door the whole time? Am I understanding that correctly?
He knows you never left.
Stone golems see everything.
Also because he didn't see you going out with,
Okay.
your brother.
Gotcha.
So he just figured you were still in the room. Or if you weren't in the room, then you may have been in more trouble.
Stone
Okay.
Stone has eyes.
Forgetting that. Yeah, I'll follow.
So yeah. Alton, you notice that several of these dwarves, again, are frozen in various states of expressions. Some are looking in fear, some are looking like cowering, some are even looking in prayer. Several holding signs of Morden, very similar to the same one that was made for you in the refuge. And again, all of them seem to be kind of focused or gaze or just drawn around the very central part of this courtyard where Red stands frozen.
Okay. Can I inspect Red?
Yeah. As you get closer to the statue of this young girl, it feels warm. The statue feels almost warm to the touch. This pulsing warmth. And I'm guessing you said you wanted to look at what she was holding or what you thought she was holding?
Yeah, like she had one hand out and one hand clutching something, and like I wanted to see if there was anything in there or whether the hand was just empty.
There are 2 books held tight against her.
Are the books stone?
No.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Dude, who? Oh my God, who still has the book?
You.
Do I have the? I have the book.
You have the crown piece, and I
And
thought
the,
you kept the book. I mean, maybe Zidane kept the book? I don't quite remember.
is there
One of
room
you did.
for another book if I put another book in her hand?
See.
Blurting out
The
questions right
book.
now.
Yeah, it says Alton rushes over to the strange book, sees a new line written in the back cover of the book. So he was the one that picked up the book and the crown piece.
Ooh.
All right. What are these two books? Do these two books have titles and or similar markings or? And I know I'm probably getting short on time here because the group is coming.
I mean, are you trying? Are you how are you trying? Are you just trying to look at it while she's holding it? Are you trying to pry him out of her hands, or what are you?
No. I'm just trying to look as they are,
Okay.
not touch them.
As they are, one looks similar to the one that you found, in the bookstore forever ago. The same one that that started this entire thing off. Looks very similar. Has a very bright, well, once bright cover to it, worn away. The other looks much smaller, much more like a almost like a well-worn diary of sorts, like a leather-bound journal of sorts. Keep saying of sorts.
How big is the big one? The same size as the book that I have?
Yes.
Could it house a crown fragment? If you cut pages?
I mean, the book you had didn't house it in that way.
I understand that. I'm
No,
asking as
it's
is.
not that thick.
I understand. Okay.
It's like a children's like picture book.
Do I hear the group approaching?
Yes.
Do I?
Jingle jangle.
Shit.
You hear the very loud footsteps of the king approaching in armor.
Okay,
and
I will
heavy
back
gear.
away. I will back away and
I'm just saying you hear him
Look,
coming. He is not making it
I
stealthy.
I understand, and back away and look around the room and whistle a little bit. try to look nonchalant.
As for the rest of you, the king leads you out into the court, Absinthoss as the other brother in tow. I guess I'm imagining, did you redo your disguise, or did you? I imagine you redid your dwarf disguise in the morning.
Oh my God.
I forgot to ask. Absinthoss.
If he didn't, we're in a lot of trouble.
I mean, his is an at-will 1 hour
Yeah, I just want to.
disguise self.
Overlap.
Yeah, I figured he would have. I just want to make sure, like, that he didn't choose to change that opinion.
Shred.
It should have enough ice water, so I don't know. Not now.
Maybe someone pulled him away.
I would assume he kept his
Nah,
disguise.
we'll go with the assumption on that. So he leads you out to the courtyard. And he sets his hammer down in front of him and points to Red. There. Tell me. What does your magic tell you? O servants of Pelor?
Well, your Majesty, my magics does not speak to me, but I know this girl.
He turns slowly and looks at you. Do you know?
I mentioned last night we have been working in the kingdom of Galaran, breaking curses, hexes, other magical anomalies. Maybe a month ago, we were sent to a small village where a bookkeeper, a librarian maybe, uh, was apparently needing some aid. Uh, We investigated and were sucked into some some book, and in the book we met this girl. She called herself Little Red.
He slams his hammer down in front of him.
Oh Lord.
With that swing, you just see the ground like crack and splinter all around him.
Your Majesty, I meant no offense.
And he just starts laughing.
So you finally come. I thought it odd, a servant of Palor, Sir Celine.
Your Majesty?
Don't think I can't feel their awful presence on you.
He swings his hammer back over onto his shoulder.
You've met her. Olred. And Grimlock. Me, well. A dwarf who looks like me.
Yes, Your Majesty. There was a dwarf in the book. He called himself more than Grimlock. The ancient king, yes?
That he is. That cursed fool is.
And this, you say, is Olred?
Aye.
The queen of legend, yes?
Again, aye.
And he looks about at the rest of the the rest of the party, as well as to you, Alton.
And I am safe to assume then that you're not the last word brothers either.
Oh shit.
I do not feel Morden's presence on either.
That does not mean we are not humble servants of your majesty.
We will see.
Oh no.
I will not self-incriminate. I have the right to remain silent.
I am sure you have many questions to ask. And I have you. Come. Before we delve into this, let's see if we can't help each other. Aye?
Of course, Your Majesty. As I said, we are only here to help.
Do they let us keep our weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I thought I see as much.
And with that, he turns, taps, like brings out his hammer and kind of taps it into the ground, and you see chairs form all around. Taps again, and a table forms between them. And he walks to the end of this table he's created and takes a seat.
All right. Gather round.
Do we say it's like on top of this?
It's on top of that crescent, yes.
Okay.
Like on top of.
Gather round. We have much to discuss.
Andros looks around and kind of motions to the table for everyone.
Here's the Romans do.
Alton's gonna wander back over to Little Red and slowly reach out for those books to see if the king has any reaction.
The king does peer over and goes,
Be careful if I were you.
Do these contain trap worlds as well.
If that is what you found in the other book, then yes, quite likely.
Holy shit. What is going on?
So then,
I love this.
my guess is they contain the other fragments?
One of them does. The other is just a book.
Okay. Alton comes back to the table.
Do you all, I'm guessing, gather around and sit, or
Mhm.
Say
I
more
do.
stands, but he's around the table.
I love Thaymore.
you just kind of
Oh,
Who did we just lose?
key.
clicking
No.
too many buttons, and I click into a different Discord channel.
Oh.
I'm good at this. He just cocks an eyebrow at you, Thaymore, and just shrugs. All right. So, let's do it this way. You ask me a question, I ask you a question. Seem fair?
Hey, Your Majesty.
Aye.
Okay.
Is the stone alive?
The stone alive. Which, all of this? Which stone are you referring to, lad?
Stone of the mountain, the stone of the keep, the stone.
Aye. Very much so.
And what of. Well, this might count as a second question, but I am also curious about the gems of your guards. Are they
Supporters.
alive?
Those that agreed with me.
Hmm.
My turn. Which planes do you represent? I know one of you.
Andros kind of points to himself and looks questioningly.
Yes, you. With the... the water. What about the rest of you lot? I assume you're, all connected.
And pulls out his uh, crossed keys and shows off the acorn that's growing around it.
Where's the king? Where's the king and all?
He's invisible until I pull him into this, apparently. There.
King casts invisibility.
Very
Ah,
effective.
alright. I like you. What about the rest of you lot?
Here's the notes.
Cough, cough.
Probably
Be
do.
within 10 feet of me. Cough, cough. Sorry.
There's a
Just
lot of coughing
fine.
over there. You need water?
Yes. Matter of fact, we do.
Um,
Also, breakfast. I'm hungry.
babe, you're muted.
Evian closes her eyes and Brit pulls down her bracers off her arms to focus on the Feywilds to bring up her tattoos.
They start glowing and start kind of giving off that glistening hue along your horns and arms.
Ah, you're one of the fair folk. Ugh, sprightly
that the-
bunch.
I knew that the horns were new, but when did the tattoos happen?
Evian
Uh,
opens her eyes at that and they kind of glisten for a second before her tattoos fade.
Speed Underhands work.
Big question
Uh,
mark. Um,
I suppose I owe you an answer, I guess. Go ahead and ask.
What was it that your subjects agreed with you on? That they willingly allowed themselves to become stone? Constructs of the, what I assume is the elemental planes.
It is either that, or stay as one of them.
And he points to the statues.
No. Who next wants to tell me what plane they're on from? Associate.
Well, there's no sense in this disguise anymore.
Oh, shit! Don't do it! No! I thought you were against self-incrimination. I thought you were against this. What are you doing to me?
Well, we know the jig is up.
You're talking
Oh,
in
yeah?
absent thoughts. Wisdom was the dump stat.
Really?
Yeah, Wisdom was the dumpster. Still the
Oh.
minus one.
He's
My
missed his
wisdom
own
isn't
voice
good either.
speaking for a long. It's been like 3 days since he's got to hear himself talk.
Yeah. It's nice to hear myself. Anyways, the Infernal Plane is such a nice place. You know, your lava moat kind of reminds me of it.
He kind of like stares at you a bit.
Infernal, you say?
Yes, we have to deal with him too, I'm sorry.
He doesn't seem to leave your gaze as he says, "All right."
Next question for me.
Are you aware of the strange moss-covered dwarf beneath the city somewhere, about an hour or two travel through the old ways that's fighting
Ah,
itself and turning people to stone?
Redrick? Redrick's not turning anyone to stone. He's a good disciple, he is. I use him as a information from the docks. I can trust his reports. That's how I knew you were here.
So his instability was more of an act.
Devotion. Devotion.
I suppose it could be called that, then.
All right.
Zidane
Who
looks at
else?
everyone else and is like, is anyone else going to ask any questions, or am I going to be...
Oh, I have quite a question.
Aye, but first, someone else needs to answer my first one. What other planes?
Paymore, go.
100% myself.
Yeah.
I've been muted this entire time, damn it.
Yes, they more.
Oh no.
Yeah, and Thamo's gonna have his shadows form like a cape behind him that's flowing in a non-existent wind.
Shadow cape of billowing. Yes.
All right, I see we have Shadow. Kind of an odd way to display it, but I like your panache, boy.
Take off the helmet. Show him what the shadow plane really looks like.
But Trent, here's the thing, you need the helmet. There's another helmet.
Next question for me.
Okay, who has the next question?
Is the curse the petrification, or is it something the petrification is waylaying, halting?
The petrification boy is their salvation. It was my duty that was assigned to me. The curse is me still being stuck here.
Insight check.
Mm.
Insight check, please.
Go for it.
Can Thabor
Oh.
make this roll too?
Sure.
He's very he's
Yeah.
very
You
interested.
could
He is turning to
roll
stone, even though he's not cursed.
all
technically.
natural 20s,
Oh.
and it's going to be,
Oh,
doesn't
no,
matter.
shit.
He is being
Yeah.
truthful. You can tell by the way Salty said it.
Ah, shit.
You're not entirely sure, but he sounds truthful. But you don't sense any hint of deceit.
All right. Who wants to tell me next?
Well, I myself am connected to the astral plane.
Ah, the weave that binds all.
Indeed.
Very nice. Well, all right. Who else has a question for me?
Why is the void here?
I don't have an answer for that one.
Then
Don't know
what?
why it came. I was just here to stop it.
Hmm.
That's what your salvation is then. From the void.
Look,
He, back in his chair, cracks his knuckles a little bit before leaning back in. That almost attempt at a jovial nature's gone at this point.
it is what I was tasked to do. And I did my job. And I am still stuck here.
Asked by who?
Grimlock, of course.
And where is he?
Partly there,
Points to Olred.
partly there,
Points back to the throne room.
and partly somewhere else in that other book you found.
Does he know that? Does he know we have a book?
I told him that we had found a book.
Oh, that's
He
right.
knows you guys had found it. He doesn't know if you still have it, but he knows you guys
Yeah.
found it at some point, so you had interacted with it.
Yeah, I forgot that.
So it's 3 pieces then.
Aye.
And what happens when we bring them back? If we collect them all?
I go home, and you guys deal with your own problems.
Where is home? Aren't you the king of Dunmorok?
I'm not the king. Well, I'm acting king, I guess, if you want to call it that.
I thought the king was Icebeard. You said Firebeard.
Names. I had a chin.
Look.
Looks like you've got no choice but to help me at this point. So
That's all
I
we
will
can.
be the one to say it. I am Grumbar.
Surprise Pikachu face.
Grimlock, like many of you, was my bridge to this plane. Centuries ago, I helped him defend his home against this void. I don't know why it came. Don't know. I only know the cataclysm that followed. And I only know the actions he took to try to save his people. But all because of her. And he points out to Little Red. That plan went to the 9 hells. I was tasked to defend and protect his people. And he was going to fight that. And he points straight up himself. But it didn't quite go as planned. Little girl showed up and he stopped the ritual. Instead of doing what he was supposed to do, he bound me to his cursed body. Kept me. And broke his damn crown. Let me ask you something. What do you think of this mountain?
Well, I certainly like being in the open sky. Much
You'd have
more.
liked Dunmoric centuries ago. Dunmoric wasn't built inside of a mountain, lad.
This is your doing then.
This. And he points to the structures and everything. This is my body. Well, once was.
So you protect these people by imprisoning them.
In a way. If I were to be released right now, freed from this binding, go back to my plane, all this would be undone. Gentrification, mountain, the thing trapped in it would all be free again.
Where is your home plane?
The earthen plane. I am the lord of the lord of the elemental plane of the earth.
Oh.
Basically, murder this thing. You'll just be
What?
fine. The thing that's being trapped.
What would it take to fight the thing you hold?
I don't know. Grimlock's plan was to bind his soul and it into his crown and seal it away. A plan he concocted based on some other friend of his.
Do you know the ritual, or does his friend?
He does. I don't. Some
Who-
part necromancy, some part
Who-
something else.
Who is this friend?
I don't know, some elven king or something.
Uh-huh.
Cool
And then who's she? Points to Little Red. Who is she in all this?
Olred, his adopted daughter. Soon to be queen.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And she was supposed to stay in the castle.
Yep.
Oh, it's all coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'd like to give you your wish.
I figured as much.
But we need to bring all the pieces together.
Aye. That's why I brought you out here. I can't touch the book, the stone in my throne. I am bound not to. Do you know what it's like to stare at your salvation and know you can't touch it? That's the curse. I have done my duty. I have protected Dunmoric and its citizens. That is all I have ever done for centuries.
Why keep it a secret?
Sure, there's plenty of good reasons to keep it a secret. What if someone malicious wanted to
There's
say
one really good reason not to. You can never go home unless you tell people what you need to have done.
It has to be done correctly.
Hey,
Idiots seeking power could cause both sides to fail. Idiots thinking they could control the earthen lord could cause the plan to fail. Idiots of that stupid cult could cause the plan to fail.
Cult.
Cult?
Aye. Crescent moon, whatever they were.
Oh,
We've had run-ins with their kind.
but not even your own people?
My people aren't here. They're home.
Forgive me. Not even the people of Dunmorok.
Plane.
why leave the people of the port in squalor, believing
Right.
that something is coming to save them?
Right.
Because I've done my job. He broke his promise. And I am stuck here. Bound to do the one thing tasked. What reason do I have to do any more? I am not a god. I am not a benevolent celestial. I am the Lord of Earth.
That much is clear. Let's fix this. Return this place to the prime material, which happens to be the plane that I am. And I think that starts with one of these books.
Aye, quite
Probably ends with the reunification of the crown. But we have to tell we have to tell people. We have to tell the dwarves.
You are free to. Once you've ended my curse, enslavement here.
We need their help to do that.
What help have they? They cannot enter the books. They cannot do any of this. Only those touched by the planes.
I was about to ask that. Well, that explains that.
Aye.
Why involve the White Order?
Was
I
a
was
ploy.
hoping I could find anyone rated planes. Perhaps the
No.
plane of anything. Maybe they knew or they could get some info. But I had resolved myself to not interact at all. But time is growing short, as it were. My powers are weakening. Something stirred. The void seems to be active again, and the thing I hold up there is breaking free. And unfortunately, I am still tasked to protect Dunmoric and its people.
A
So we
little
free you.
worried that one of our friends is a little too closely tied to the void. looks at Absinthe.
I'm sorry.
Telepathic speech back to Alton. You fucking what?
You know that one meme, Goofy face? It was like the what? You what, mate?
You what, mate?
One of you has association with the void.
He does the put the palm next to your face and then point through the palm. That guy, him, that one. It's that one.
He glares over at you, Absinthe.
This is true, lad.
His Zidane is about to. He's gonna look over at Absinthe and then it's like, "You want to tell him, or you want someone to interject on your behalf?" I'm like, "I'm ready, buddy."
You serve the Dark Lord, don't you?
Seymour is perfectly fine watching.
As is Alton.
There's
Roll up a new
suck-
character sheet. Let's blow him in. Come on.
I am Usador.
Usador, Wizard of the 12 Bottom of Easy. Anyway,
Well,
Yes, I have a brief and tenuous connection with that evil for the purpose to destroy it.
Sorry. Oh.
I have no love for its non-motive nature.
he kind of like grips his hammer tightly.
I have no love for that void. But if it means I get to go home, I don't care. If you violate my duties and force me to act to protect the city and its people, I will crush you beneath the weight of this mountain.
Maybe there's more than one faction in the Void. Maybe.
There
I don't know.
certainly is only the void.
Well, who do you talk to then?
Have you ever yelled at a pond?
Nope. Nope. Not even
Well,
once.
Is this something you learned from your father, Absinthe? Just yelling at pawns.
an inanimate object of any sort.
Nope.
Really, you've never yelled at anything before.
I've yelled at people.
You only get frustrated at animate objects.
I didn't say that.
So, man,
Well,
is
I
this
asked
getting
you
us
if-
anywhere?
The point
Yes.
I'm trying to make is there's no separate faction in the void. It just is.
Well, then your association with it puts this entire endeavor at great jeopardy, wouldn't you say?
He's
Uh,
gripping at his hammer.
Sure, and I'm sure the infernal plane part cancels it out.
anything.
All
Our
I
friend
can
Absintho's fascination with the void is only of an academic nature in order to learn on how to destroy it, counter it where we can find it.
my personal grudge aside, I just want to go home, ever that takes.
And I
Yep.
understand
You
that.
And as
said
long
that
as he
already.
does not force me to enact the duties I am charged with, then I will let him do as he pleases.
I kind of want you to, though.
Bro!
Bruh.
Bruh.
Interparty.
No.
Yes. Go.
Greenbar, may I call you that? God, I hate this voice. Fucking hell. Do you mind if I that's a lot better. Sorry. What happens when we bring these crown fragments together? You just scupper off?
I think
Probably. You
And
bring
what
them
happens
back.
to the thing you're guarding? You're protecting the people of Dunmorag. We free you. You stop protecting them. You just
no. So, if I
Yes.
may, I think. Stop me if I'm incorrect, but I think we reunite the pieces of the crown to complete the ritual that failed.
That's up to Grimlock. Once those
Right.
pieces come together and his soul is intact again, I'm free.
And then that ritual binds this void entity, whatever it was that was about to attack Dunmoric, I think.
Yes, but there's going to
Right?
be a period of time between when we bring Grimlock back and that thing comes free before he can
I
perform
think
the
so.
ritual. And he's not whatever that is ain't gonna want to stop, ain't wanting us to do the ritual.
So we annihilate it.
I
The thing,
suppose
not the ritual.
you'll throw yourself at it then.
I'm
Why not?
guessing that if the entire city of Dunmoric was basing all of its defense on this single ritual, the group of us thinking that we're just going to annihilate it may be a bit ambitious. I think the ritual might be the right way to try to do this, but if we can talk, maybe we can talk to the old king.
Grunbar,
Zidane.
Maybe he's in one of those books.
may I make a request?
You
A
most
favor for
certainly can try.
a favor for a favor then. Once we bring Grimlock back, stay until he completes the ritual. Don't abandon the city. You've been here for centuries. God, I keep switching back into that voice. God, you've
I know
been
what
here
to
for
see here.
centuries. What's a few more days at most?
You mentioned a deal. Where is my end of it then?
I told you, a favor. Anything you ask of me. Sure, I'm connected to the plane of water. Why not the earth too? Would you take me as your conduit?
Zidane starts doing a slow
Oh my
takeover
god.
at Andoros.
I'm just one man, but there's thousands of people here.
Boy,
And you'd abandon them all to their fate.
do you know what you ask? You ask for two almost opposing planes to exist. Only one fool has tried this.
Let me be the second. I care a lot more about the
Oh.
people here than whatever happens to me. Because fuck it, I abandoned people before, I'm not doing it again.
Brave.
If I might interject for one moment, is our ability to contact our respective planes cut off by you on purpose, or is that by the nature of you being bound here for too long and your influence stretching over the entire region?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question.
The second one in a nutshell.
Damn.
You don't pull powerful entities from another plane without some kind of repercussion, some kind of ripple. And when you pull the lord of a plane and bind him for centuries, things tend to get a little messy.
That they do.
Andoros walks around the table and extends a hand. We got a deal?
Let's see how you handle the first book first, before I go trusting anyone else.
Fair enough.
But I'll give it some thought.
Did Alton drop his disguise, or is he still as Crumrig?
I'm still Primrig.
Right.
I'll wait on that one as long as I can.
Oh, what are we waiting for, you fuckers? Let's go open a book and have a fucking bedtime story.
Oh God, again.
So I'll go get
Yes.
the book that was about the same size as the one that I have.
Okay. You try to pull it out of her hand.
I'll look around at the rest of the party and hopefully get a nod from everyone and then grab it.
Maybe we should all be next to it as you grab it, Alton.
Sounds like a plan.
So you grab the large picture book, and it slides kind of almost like, grinding a little bit against the stone. Do you grab the other book as well, or just the picture book?
Just the picture book.
Okay. So you pull it out. It's a faded, very worn book. As you open it, flip through the pages, it's some kind of old fairy tale, but pictures have long since worn away.
This isn't working. It's
Yeah,
maybe it's too dusty. I don't know.
one moment. Let me try something. And this do a divine sense. And get everything in this room, including Grumbar.
Okay.
We bring that up again. Real second.
I mean, I can't remember from before, but I mean, it's that same neutrality you feel.
It is a force of nature that cares neither which way or the other. It just is.
It's the elemental plane of Earth. They have no, the actual description for the earthen plane and the lords is it is a state of almost constant neutrality. They have no interest or care.
They are true neutral, just like the stone.
Yep. They exist to basically exist.
Yep.
And also covering the book. Is anything pinging?
It is radiating good. Well, not the book Alton's holding, the other book still in Red's arm.
All right. Everyone, let's gather round Little Red. It's the other book.
Are we having a group hug?
More or less.
Mhm.
I imagine as soon as one of us touches it, we'll all be pulled in next to him.
Alton's already reaching for it.
Just the... God damn it, Alton.
Oh God.
Andros turns back and looks at Groombar. Remember our deal. We'll be back.
He nods. And Alton, as you grab the book, it is, again, warm to touch. Like a small little, I'm like calling a small little flame. And as you open the leather-bound book, the first lines, or the first page, is just Tales of Moradin Grimlock. We will pick up with that next time.
One last passing thing.
Mhm.
Grimdar, do you mind if you kept my friend here, Nari, some company while we're away?
She's gonna get pulled in, so
Fuck.
yeah,
Did
she's
you keep
bound
my
to
dog?
either that or it's going to either she gets pulled in with you or she disappears.
Okay, that should
Because
get...
you are separating from the plane. So
Groombar just says, well, I've never had a dog.
Hey, Salty.
Yeah.
Just for the max, guys. See how long Daemon can resist the pull.
I
Oh
mean,
God.
sure.
Pay more.
We'll deal with that I think when you come back. But sure, if you want to try to resist it, you can.
Yeah,
Is
sure.
it
I'll give
basically
it a try.
banish?
It basically is a banish, but I guess for thematic sake, Thamor will be like the last one if he rolls high enough. Just the last one sitting there glaring at a Grumbar, I guess.
Throws a fish at him.
You've done this once again.
We will pick up with the Tales of Grimlock.
It's all... This is awesome. It is just completely full circle back to one of the books. This is awesome, Salty.
I have been
I love it.
holding on to
I
this
love
for
it.
a long ass time, waiting for this.
I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking it was going to be something like this, and it has more than exceeded my expectations. It's great.
Yeah, me and
I'm
Trey
so
were talking
excited for
about
this.
The little pieces are starting to finally like pay off when they made a bit of sense.
I had a feeling the
Yeah.
other crown here is something similar to what's going
Very
on.
similar.
Mhm.
As well as you'll see in the book, as well as this is why again, apologies Trans and Trans and Shred. Yeah, he's kind of a relative, Lord of Earth. That's why he just was there and knew you were coming and had no shits or fear of an assassination plot because he straight up does not care. Nothing
There's
here can kill him.
there's no need to apologize at all. That
Yeah.
was really fun. Like, it was really cool to realize that and then be like, oh,
Oh,
okay, he
fuck,
doesn't
yeah.
give a shit. I
Plan
guess we
B.
go at this from a different angle.
Yeah, and in case you couldn't guess that there's what's it called? The con saves was him trying to petrify you. So
Ha!
Yeah.
Can't petrify me. I'm made of water.
Yeah.
You just make mud.
but had he succeeded in getting that stage off, that would have potentially given you more of a hint to who he was, because you would have seen the same
Mhm.
red eyes that Thamor had seen in the basin.
You can't
Wait,
petrify me.
Favor's-
I'm more hard as a rock.
Also, big
Famor
dick.
is-
Hey, I'm stuck here. Here's the people that could
Whoa, are we
save
still
me. I better
streaming?
petrify them.
Wait a minute.
Thamor's
What?
still turning into stone.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thamor may become a golem. A shadow golem.
Also, why? Why would he turn the people who can actually free him to stone?
Because he's a jerk. Truly neutral. It's truly despicable. What could lead someone to live a true neutral life?
That's just
Honestly?
chaotic evil. These people
Nah,
can help me.
he-
I might as well
if
turn
you
him to stone.
notice,
He's been stuck like this for a couple hundred
So-
years. Can you fault him?
something else. I
He's
mean, I
jaded.
don't know
I'm
if
sure
you.
there's something else going on here.
Well, no, I meant more of like you notice that he has there's no like living flesh and being. Everything that supports him, he's turned into a servant.
Mhm.
That's why he said those that supported me, right? He's turned into those.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he
But then
can't
he said
mean-
people who are stone can't go into the book. He can't go into the book. Interesting. Okay.
I mean,
Cool,
yeah,
cool, cool.
He's putting people in the freezer to avoid them getting cut up. It's like
basically he was tasked to
Okay.
protect everyone, and the only way he can protect everyone at this point is to just turn
Freezer 'em.
everything and everyone to
Hey,
stone.
Ultron. Nice job, Ultron.
Yeah.
I can save them all if they're dead.
well, which is why I was like,
You also notice he's not, but he
why
doesn't
don't
care.
why
because
don't
he's
you
not
just
their king, right?
Yeah,
not
I
their
know.
king.
Well, that was the answer, right? I was like, why don't you just tell them that they're all probably going to die? And he's like, what the fuck do I care? Like, oh, okay. Clearly. Yeah. Okay. My guess is that at the end of this, if we come out of it alive or whatever, it's like the parting of this odd pairing is going to be very strange. Like,
Depends on how it
thanks
plays
for
out.
freeing me, and good luck sorting all this out. Bye.
That's exactly why Andros was like, "No, you're staying put until we get this figured out. I will give myself for that."
That would be difficult.
Still
yeah.
the Mimi Goofy. Absinthe, yeah, our buddy Absinthe's here.
You were
He's
like
he's
trying to get him
consorting-
killed.
Yeah, you
Very
were trying to get me killed in front
Very
of the
much
person.
so. Very much so.
Kind of a dick move. But,
I think Alton has developed a little bit of a grudge.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be back.
So you're picking up what I'm putting down, huh?
I don't like you.
It's
I would like to remind you, you are under 100 hit points.
yes, that's true. I'm like Jim Carrey's character
okay.
in Dumb and Dumber when
Hey,
Cam Neely's trying to kill him. And
Hey,
he's like, who
Yes,
threw that
Noko?
thing?
How many hit points do you have?
Less than 100.
Ah, perfect. Just do a spell that's 100 damage to me.
What he's speaking of is power word kill, which means if you have less than 100, you are instantly dead. Your reflect thing wouldn't actually work because it doesn't deal damage; it just
Oh, see.
kills you.
Yeah.
Ah, perfect.
that
I
was
just
a-
need to fear him then.
And it's particularly dangerous for shapeshifters like druids,
Oh.
because if you do power word kill on them when they're shapeshift, they just die. Even if they've got
Really?
more than 100 hit points on their original form, they just die.
That's a very interesting
Now,
interaction.
polymorphed creatures work like that because you're bringing if the creature has less than 100 hit points, it kills them. And it's not saying it breaks the form, it kills them. The creature is dead. And the druid or the polymorphed creature is that creature. So
So would
yeah,
their form revert to their original one if they get killed still? Because I think that's what happens with the druid, right?
if it's brought to 0 hit points, they are reverted. Power word kill doesn't put you at 0 hit points. It kills you.
It's literally, I will
That's
put
a
the text.
tabletop verbiage instead of video game verbiage. Got
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. It's if you have less than 100 hit points, you are dead. Outright dead. Not it puts you to 0. You are dead. So you don't technically, I don't even know if you would break the wild I think you break out a wild shape if you are incapacitated or dead. So yeah, you would just get power word killed as, spooky rat and just pop out as a dead Marani.
It
Yeah, but
says
it's
you
countered by like
automatically
a.
revert. It says you automatically revert if you fall unconscious, drop to 0 hit points, or die.
Yep. So yeah, you
So
would just pop out as a dead
I would,
Marani.
yes.
That's a
don't know.
very interesting and also scary interaction between.
Yep.
Doesn't that mean though? I mean, what she just said implies that power word kill would pop whoever it was out of the polymorph or the wild shape, but that the original creature would not be dead.
No, it's the wording. Basically, with polymorph or wild shape, you revert if you're dropped to 0 hit points, incapacitated, or dead. You revert.
Right.
But power word kill kills you. It makes you dead.
That was
So
one
you
of the
revert.
conditions that you just listed.
You revert as dead.
I don't think that's true.
You can't be dead as the polymorph creature, but you can be dead as your character.
I guess it's really up to Salty on this one.
What
Yeah,
happened?
I don't think that's true. Okay.
Power word kill.
What
It
about
has
it?
a
I'm
few caveats on it.
Can't
Like
we
the
all
hydrogen.
just get along?
Are we talking about power word kill now?
Uh,
um,
You see,
or,
Salty, your players are trying to figure out the best ways to kill each other.
uh,
the
may I suggest
question
just pissing
is
Thamor off? That's a great way to go.
the question is if a polymorphed or wild shaped thing is power word killed while they're in an animal form, like they automatically revert when they drop to 0 hit points or die. Does that mean that the character is also dead?
It should be. The wild shape form extra hit points don't grant you like another life. If power word kill kills you, you die.
Yeah, here's actually a tweet by Jeremy Crawford that it it bypasses when you drop to 0 effects.
Ever reliable Jeremy Crawford making calls about Raw.
He is the lead rules designer.
I
He's
I
also I know.
magic missile. Magic missile.
I mean,
Oh,
at least for
yeah.
my game, I'm gonna say that if we get into a scenario where someone is wild shaped and gets hit with power word kill and fails, it's gonna kill them. That's like wild shape doesn't grant you an additional life, just grants you basically the essentially additional hit points that when those hit points are depleted by going to 0, you shift back. But like power word kill doesn't necessarily say doesn't
Put you
say
at
put you to
0.
0.
It
It says
just
it
says you're dead.
kills you, which is you're past the point of 0. You failed 3 death saves. You're dead.
Yeah.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 schmeckles. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
So
a
preemptively,
cleric
I'll just
spell.
say, please don't test that on me.
Yeah, I don't get
I'm not.
Revivify until Paladin level like 10. So
I think it's
Yeah.
9.
It's like a third or
Oh, it's a
fourth
9th level
level
spell.
cleric spell.
Yep.
Oh, we're still streaming. Okay, bye stream.
Whoops.
Bye, stream.